separate company. Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Shop the January New Year's sale on better quality furniture and mattresses at Ken Michaels Furniture.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Detroit seems to have a real losing problem. The Bucks will make sure that trend continues.
Back to Giannis, sidesteps a couple of defenders, and then thumps it down with a jam in the middle of all that defense.
The Bucks are still in Detroit, with coverage starting tonight at 5:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9:03, it's 29 degrees, breezy, cloudy today, a high of 34. Cloudy with a bit of a mess arriving late tonight and a low down to 31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. Abortion, the headline today in Wisconsin in a couple of facets. First, a public hearing today in Madison will consider a 14-week abortion ban in Wisconsin. The Assembly Committee on Aging, Health, and Long-Term Care will go over the proposal this afternoon, which, if passed, would alter the already existing 20-week abortion ban in the state. A spokesperson for Governor Evers says he has no intention of signing any proposal that reaches his desk. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris visiting Wisconsin, beginning a tour of reproductive rights in the state. She'll arrive to Milwaukee Mitchell International around 10:30 this morning, then head to the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades facility in Big Bend in Waukesha County. Harris will be in the area until around 3:30 this afternoon. Travelers should be advised there could be freeway closures associated with Harris's commute to and from the airport. Meanwhile, it's a two-person race now in the running for GOP presidential nomination status after Ron DeSantis announced his campaign would be suspended on Sunday. That means tomorrow night's New Hampshire primary now pits former President Donald Trump against former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. ABC's Rachel Scott in New Hampshire.
In the final stretch, the attacks turning ugly, and Trump going after his former UN ambassador, who is the daughter of Indian immigrants, sparking backlash for mocking her birth name and falsely suggesting she's not eligible to run for president. DeSantis
endorsing Trump after ending his campaign. Closer to home, a pilot recovering after a helicopter crash at the Kenosha Regional Airport on Sunday. Pilot sustaining minor injuries after they lost control of the helicopter around 20 feet in the air. The helicopter sustaining heavy damage. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of the crash. The Wisconsin Department of Justice, meanwhile, investigating after a police officer was shot during a domestic violence call in northern Wisconsin. A welfare check in the Oneida County town of La Crescent. Officers met with gunfire upon entering the home. Non-lethal tactics deployed and were able to get one of two subjects from inside the home out and be evaluated by medical staff. The second subject was found dead inside of the home. No officers were injured in the exchange. And sentencing is 1 week from today for a man who stole a pair of ruby slippers worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz from the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
The defense team for Terry John Martin said the 76-year-old gave into temptation of one last score after an old mob associate led him to believe the famous shoes were worth their $1 million insured value. Those shoes were recovered in 2018. Martin was charged last year. He pleaded guilty to using a hammer to smash the glass of the museum door and display case to take the slippers. He ditched the shoes when he found out they were decorated with glass and not valuable rubies. Al Schock for CBS News, Minneapolis.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update still going strong for the majors to start the day. The Dow Jones up nearly 200 points to 38,061, while the S&P 500 is up 20 to 4,860, and the Nasdaq up 86 points to 15,397. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. The Packers looking ahead to the future after a weekend loss in San Fran. We'll have a look at that, plus the roads and your 5-day forecast up next. Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:06.
This report is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
It's the last resort that comes with a grueling and painful recovery. And from what I've been told, it never really feels quite natural. A total knee replacement may make the pain you're living with eventually go away. but it opens up a Pandora's box of other possible issues. And that's why surgeons who really do care will tell you that it's a last resort. There are other surgeons who cry,
"Replace! Replace!"
But the physicians you'll find at Rejuvenex are primarily concerned with relief. And you may find out that the relief we give you helps so much so that you may not need to get that total knee replacement. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics. Our FDA-approved pain treatments aid inflammation and lubricate your joints. And in most cases, insurance has been shown to cover the costs. At Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
As an independent tire and service center, our loyalty is to you, not the manufacturer.
It's the tire manufacturer's goal to design a superior tire.
But it's our job to ensure the right tires are properly installed on your vehicle.
A service our family has been independently providing for the past 2 generations. So make no mistake about it, our loyalty is to you.
And the dozens of tire brands we carry, like Goodyear, General, and Pirelli,
or Continental, Kelly, and Dunlop, well, that's for you too.
Because we won't know what type of tire you need until you get here.
So instead, we carry them all.
Because we install them all.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free flat tire repair.
Which means you're 100% covered.
No questions asked.
I guess you could call it family tradition.
Be safe, buckle up, and hey.
Always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're
due for service.
Rich Lawns Tire and Service. Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
After a thrilling season, the 2023 ride for the Green Bay Packers is officially over following a 24-21 loss in Santa Clara to the San Francisco 49ers. A special team, a special season all over.
One of the tough things about the National Football League is that group will never be together again as a team.
The 49ers, with the win over Green Bay, will now host the Detroit Lions, who beat Tampa Bay on Sunday for the NFC Championship game next Sunday. On the other side, the AFC Championship game is all set after beating Buffalo by a final score of 27-24 on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will travel out to Baltimore to face off with the Ravens next Sunday. And lastly, the 29-13 Milwaukee Bucks back in action tonight in Detroit to take on the Pistons. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. Coverage will begin right here on WTMJ at 5:30. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Checking the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic still a bit slow on 43 south from Silver Spring down to around Keefe right now. Your drive from Brown Deer into downtown Milwaukee, a 25-minute commute right now. That's an extra 15 minutes there. 94 east from about 84th Street through the stadium to about 35th is a little bit slow right now. That's about a 10-minute drive from the zoo into downtown. And as Debbie's been mentioning throughout the morning, keep in mind road conditions will be slick throughout southeast Wisconsin, both on your side streets as well as the freeway system. That stretch from 43 on the Rock from New Berlin all the way down to Delavan looks like there's plenty of ice out on the road. So take it slow, pack your patience, and make sure your headlights are on out there as well this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Breezy, cloudy today. Highs in the low to mid-30s. Cloudy overnight tonight with a low of 31. A wintry mix arrives late in the evening and into your morning on Tuesdays when things could get dicey. Up to 2 inches of very wet, heavy snow possible. And Storm Team 4, meteorologist Tyler Moore saying a glaze of ice also possible with the winter weather tomorrow. A high around 36. We'll turn to all rain for Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. Friday looks cloudy with a high of 39 degrees. Right now in Madison, mostly cloudy and 25. Cloudy in Green Bay and 23. Waukesha checking in at 24. And in Milwaukee, we've got cloudy skies and 28 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 9/11.
Win or lose, are we feeling the love this morning? Well, now that we've had time to sleep on it, let's talk about it. It's time for Monday Morning Quarterback on WTMJ Now.
Oh, we've had time to sleep on it. Big time sports guy Brandon Snide joining me in studio. I'm
Steve Scaffidi. And this is the final edition for this season of Monday Morning Quarterback. How you feeling on this?
Angry.
You're angry
You know,
still?
like the stages of grief, you
Yes.
know, anger, sadness. Yesterday was really sad. My wife thought yesterday she did something wrong because I didn't talk to anybody.
Even your wife?
No. Or the dogs. And
you're like I used to be 20 years ago.
And I just sat. I sat after the game. I sat and I didn't move. I didn't look at anybody. I didn't talk to anybody after that game for about an hour and a half.
Cooling down, yeah.
And then it wasn't so much anger. I was just so defeated by that loss because I just felt like, well, I shouldn't say I felt like. They did. They outplayed the best team in the NFL, the Packers, the youngest team this year in the NFL, outplayed the best team in the NFL for 97% of that game.
Did you blame the kicker like I did?
No.
No?
No.
Why don't you blame the kicker?
Because that you knew what you were getting with Carlson. He's done it all year.
I know, but I have one expectation. If that's your job, you only play like 30 seconds in a game as a kicker, right?
Right.
Kickoffs, field goals, extra points. 30 seconds, 45 tops.
Sure.
Make your damn kicks.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could argue that he should have made the kick. What does that kick do? It's a 7-point game. They would have tied it anyway.
Okay, then we would have got the ball back.
And who knows if Love would have forced a pass.
Yeah,
we don't know. But I blame Jordan Love for 2 errant interceptions.
You made a great point about that, though. In those last, 4 drives, he was missing a couple offensive linemen.
Rasheed Walker was out, and Zach Tom missed like the last quarter.
Yeah, he was running for his life, basically.
So, injuries were part of it. I blame Darnell Savage for dropping what should have been a pick six.
Very Dallas-esque.
I blame Keyshawn Nixon for dropping what should have been. His was even more errant, the interception that he should have had. That would have definitely have iced that game probably. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can blame. I think you blame Carlson, sure. Make the kick. It's your one job. Conditions weren't great. Raining, wet field. But that's a total team loss. They beat themselves. They didn't capitalize anything. And here's the other thing. And I don't want to do this, on this platform because I'm not blaming this on them. But for next year, Roger Goodell has to figure out the referee situation.
Yeah, it's bad.
You cannot spot a ball for Matt LaFleur to waste a challenge because they were off by almost 2 yards. They don't know how to spot a ball. And if you don't want to use their eyes or their judgment, soccer has a wonderful technology figured out with who's offsides and when they are, and put a chip in the ball and figure out what the first down is. Figure that out because, my God, that refereeing was terrible on Saturday.
Yeah, not just that game, other games.
Yeah.
He is Brandon Snyder, big-time sports guy. This is Monday Morning Quarterback. You can join the conversation. Some people have already done that. 855-616-1620, WTMJ Talk and Text line. Your final thoughts, closing thoughts on what was a surprise season. I want to talk a little bit about the positive because there are a lot of positives with this team as we approach the offseason. An interesting one for the Packers. Big contract ahead for Mr. Jordan Love. So maybe some key acquisitions to take this team to the next step, which would be the NFC Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl. Lots of positives. We'll try to focus or refocus big-time sports guy Brandon Snyder on the positive. We'll see if that works or not. That's next on WTMJ.
Don't go anywhere. The Monday Morning Quarterback returns right after this on WTMJ. For the first time ever, hearing the Bucks is now just a click away.
Drives inside, scoops to the hoop and lays it in.
If you live in Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Waukesha, Racine, or Washington County, you can stream the Milwaukee Bucks on your phone, tablet, or computer.
We're going to stay with you. Why not?
Using the WTMJ app or going to WTMJ.com.
Look out. Showtime. Two-hand jam.
We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. 620 WTMJ.
Uline is here for the hard workers. For the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you've got water in your house, you need Guthrie and Fry. We've got their water softener. We get their salt delivery. We've got reverse osmosis that protects the water in our house. They've got the best people. They've got the best products. It's Guthrie and Fry. They treat their clients like their family. I feel that every time they're in our house, you need Guthrie and Fry. Fixed rental rates, convenient salt delivery programs. It's gfwater.com.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
I'm WTMJ Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
On the third day that I was there, still unpacking, I heard happy hour, so I went down the hall. Just then, my cell phone rang. He said, Grandma, how are you? And I said, Scott, honey, I can't talk now. I'm at happy hour. And that went viral. The kids didn't have to worry about me anymore, and I didn't have to worry about me anymore.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. You're listening to the Monday Morning Quarterback on Wisconsin's radio station, WTMJ.
It's low. Couple fakes going. Wide open in the end zone. It is. Melted as he gets the feet down. He is. Touchdown.
Jordan Love, that was a great throw, great catch. I was watching at my daughter's house. We're all like, did he juggle that thing?
Yeah, it was like the most uncelebrated touchdown because you're like, wait a minute, did he catch it?
Yeah.
Were both feet down? Did he secure the ball? Did he survive the fall? There, NFL, fix what a catch and isn't a catch.
And that's number one on my positives for 2023. I mean, and looking ahead to this year. Jordan Love, we know what we have now. And it's not going to make the fans of the Bears or the Vikings or the Lions really happy, but I think we know what we have. Didn't have a great end of his game, but we pointed out earlier that he was missing two of his offensive line, which meant he had to run for his life. But Jordan Love had one heck of essentially a rookie season because he didn't really play in the other seasons very much. And he performed at the highest level. That's what you want from a quarterback. That's a positive for me.
Yeah, number 2 in touchdown passes in the NFL. Who had that on their bingo card?
Yeah,
Nobody.
Amazing.
And if you look at the reports from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, the latest reports, he's all but locking up a deal to extending Green Bay. He cannot sign it till May because he already signed an extension in May of last year, so he can't do 2 in 1 year for the same player. So Love's not going anywhere. That's definitely a positive. I got 2 more for you, Steve. We both agree on Love. Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur proved a lot of people wrong this year. When Aaron Rodgers left, I should say when Aaron Rodgers was here and they won 3 straight years of winning 13 games, everybody was like, yeah, Matt LaFleur, yeah, but he has Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's got Devontae Adams. Yeah, but he's got this and that. Not this year. You had a first-year starter, the youngest offense in the NFL since the modern era, the youngest receiver room in the history of the NFL, and they got to 9 wins, or they actually got to 10 wins if you include that playoff win in Dallas. And they proved a lot of people wrong, and Matt LaFleur proved that he can lead an NFL team and take them to the playoffs, and next year they will compete for the NFC North. The Lions can enjoy the moment that they have now. I hope it falls flat on their face, but the Packers are push them for the division next year. And my last one is Brian Gutekunst, because he kind of falls into that line with Matt LaFleur. A lot of people said a lot of things about Brian Gutekunst, and man, the 2023 draft class is proving to be massive, and not even the 2023 class, the 2020 class that a lot of people said, yeah, oof, that's terrible. What are you taking a quarterback for? You just mentioned who your positive takeaway was. That is the year he selected Jordan Love, who is now going to be in line as one of the highest paid passers in the NFL.
And how do I know that's a smart take? Is because one by one, all the people that criticize them, all the national experts, are now saying, you know what, we were wrong on them. Yeah. The Mike Silvers.
Yeah.
The Peter King.
It.
Yes.
I tweeted back to Michael Silver, who writes, it used to be SI. I don't know where he's at now, but he basically said, yeah, I was wrong. I was completely wrong about Goody. And Pat McAfee's another one who's come out of, he had a lot of things to say about him with that trade for Aaron Rodgers, and it proved that, Goody put his job on the line. Maybe his career. Like, not to get, crazy, but maybe if this falls flat on the Green Bay Packers 2023 year and Jordan Love looked terrible, Goody might not have another job in the NFL. He put his career along with his job on the line, and it proved to be the right choice. In that 2023 draft class, you're talking about Lucas Van Ness, who finished 5th in his class in sacks, had a quietly good year. Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft. I mean, Rasheed Walker was a 7th-round draft pick, and he started at left tackle 99% of the years.
Yeah, so. Let's add the young receiver group into the mix. Nobody expected this.
No.
Peter King, the one and only Peter King, who writes every Monday after the weekend's football games, mentioned this young receivers core. This is something that everyone needs to understand. This is a group that is very low paid. I think they make less than what the average star receiver makes. As a group, they make less.
$7.5 million as a group,
and they are signed for a couple of years here for the most part. Dobbs is the year earlier, but this is a great, talented group of receivers with a young quarterback who's shown he can hit those receivers in stride and score touchdowns at a high level. That's an exciting thing to look forward to next year.
And I know, like, it's easy to be upset, be mad, be angry, but when all that goes away, Steve, this season just exceeded everybody's expectations. Nobody had this happening. I mean, toe-to-toe with the number 1 team in the NFL, beating Dallas in the manner that they did. I mean, they are, and I said this to you during the break, I can confidently say that, that San Francisco team, I rewatched the game, watched it live, obviously. In no way, shape, or form did they look like the superior team to the Green Bay Packers.
No.
And that is a team littered with Pro Bowlers, All-Pros, veteran lace guys who have been in the NFC Championship games, have been to Super Bowls, have been to multiple playoff games, and Green Bay did not. And Green Bay looked like the better team, and that's a hat tip to guys like Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst.
Here's where you hang your hat. You beat the number 2 seed in the Cowboys, right?
Embarrassed them.
Yes, at home. And you almost beat the number 1 seed at home, and you had the game up until I don't know how many minutes were left in the game when the league
on a
switched.
short week.
On a short
week and a game where you traveled out 3,000 miles.
Bill joins us from Racine. Hey, Bill, welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback.
Thank you very much. Brandon, I have a question for you. You may agree with me or not, but whenever the Packers have a 3rd down and 1, I cringe because they run from the shotgun position. The mesh point is about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You get no forward motion instead of running from the under center position where the running back actually gets a 3-yard head start. The mesh point is 3 yards closer to the line of scrimmage. Why do they run from the shotgun position on 3rd and 1? I cringe.
Good question, Bill. Yeah, thanks for the call.
Yeah, Bill, I don't disagree with you at all. I do too. I think it's silly. I think it's kind of overthinking, overcomplicating things, just getting in your own head. But I agree. Whatever happened to the old school I formation? Get DeGuara in the backfield. I know they don't really have a quote unquote fullback on the roster anymore, but I agree with Bill. Don't overcomplicate things. And you saw, they started doing the tush push, the love shove with the quarterback going under center. But I think at moments on 3rd and 1, if you want to take a deep shot, depending on where you are on the field, if you're in the plus territory and you're going to go for it on 4th down, if you don't get it, then I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think I'm with Bill. Just don't overthink it.
Does Dylan being out, did that impact that?
Probably.
I mean,
it does.
I mean, that's a blocker.
And I was trying to talk because my dad and I are watching a game, and we're going back and forth. We're arguing, we're celebrating, we're high-fiving, we're yelling. He's ground it and pound it. You can't do that to Aaron Jones. He can't. He's just not built for 25-plus carries a game.
Aaron Jones wasn't a problem. He had 5 straight 100-yard games in the games that mattered, and he was brilliant on Saturday night as well.
Best of his career in these last stretch.
Yeah, and we're talking about the future. Jordan loves the no-brainer. Aaron Jones, there's a question whether they'll pay what it's going to require. I think Aaron Jones wants to be in Green Bay. He loves this town, loves his team, loves his teammates. I don't think that should be difficult. And other than those two, the only other big contract that's looming out there is what you do with David Bakhtiari. I mean, he's made a lot of money not playing. Is there a home team advantage for that? I don't know what his interests are. A lot of people say he's going to go play for New York. He's a question mark because he's injured. And whether or not another team will take a chance on him, I don't know. But there needs to be protections built into the Packers agreement if they do it with him to say, look, we can't pay $20 million to have you sit there. That's the reality for Packers. That's a tough one.
Yeah, and you talk about like a Hall of Fame type career, like trajectory. That's where Bakhtiari was on. I mean, all pro for so many years. You know, he was looking like he was a Sherlock Gold Jacket type guy. But man, injuries have really derailed his career. I don't know where. I know it's a $20 million cap hit. If they're not going to cut him because he's an asset, right? You either keep him, you pay him, and you hope that he's healthy. But that I would imagine, Steve, in the back of the mind of Brian Gutekunst, is he ever going to be healthy? It's got to be there. And can you trade him and maybe get an extra second round?
That might be where the value is.
They have 5 top 100 picks this year.
They're loaded.
They have the 4th most draft capital in the NFL, so they might be able to add to it.
All right, we've got a great call coming from Florida, sort of a thank you call to us, or I'm sorry call, because the caller, he said the Packers wouldn't beat the Cowboys, and we all know what happened. And then we're going to answer the Joe Barry question, which is on people's minds. Big-time sports guy Brandon Stein joining me on the last Monday morning quarterback of this 2023 season. Quick break here.
This is the Monday Morning Quarterback on WTMJ. For the latest on Capitol Hill, tune in to CBS's chief Washington correspondent, Major Garrett.
Look, everyone understands a certain amount of privacy, but guess what? You become a cabinet secretary, you give up some of your privacy. That's what comes with the job, and everybody knows. And I would say this: if a cabinet secretary in the Obama administration, the George W. Bush administration, the Clinton administration, all of which I covered, the Trump administration, or the Biden administration.
Thursdays at 3:45 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the New Year's sales event is on. Make Holiday your destination to explore all that's new, shop an impressive selection, get in on enticing offers, and get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade. Right now, well-qualified buyers can lock in rates as low as 0% for up to 5 years and drive inspired in a raved-about new Mazda CX-30, CX-5, or CX-50 with standard iActive all-wheel drive. Connect with Holiday and navigate today's car market with confidence. Relax and enjoy their transparent, simplified buying approach and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over, and I'm one of them. You'll be in great hands with Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer, top-selling Mazda certified pre-owned dealer, and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award on your side. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
In this seller's market, even homeowners are trying to sell their own home. But more times than not, it doesn't work out like they'd hoped. And while homes like theirs are selling, and selling fast for over asking prices, their homes aren't. So what's your next best strategy? Well, if you're looking to relieve yourself of the stress of selling your own home and still get top dollar while getting the full service benefits that an experienced realtor can give you, then look no further. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where 3.5 to 3.9% commission assures that you pay less for full service. Only 11% of those trying to sell their own homes actually succeed. And of those that do sell their own home, they sell on average for 26% less than agented properties. This often negates the savings they were hoping to get by doing it on their own. So why do it on your own when you have an experienced realtor that will give you full service at only 3.5 to 3.9% commission? Don't let your home sit while others are selling faster and at potentially better than asking prices. Call Benefit Realty for a highly experienced agent, and you'll pay less for full service.
This is the Monday Morning Quarterback on WTMJ.
It's Love. Far side, throws complete, caught for the touchdown. Tucker Kraft, and the Pack back in front.
Oh, last few minutes. Oh. He doesn't stink. He's awesome, actually. Jordan Love.
I find this offensive, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know what Charlie's trying to get to here, but Jordan Love, the star quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, he's not anything I think we have to worry about. Let's get Tex from Florida into the conversation real quick. Hey, Tex. Good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Yeah.
I owe you a call from last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you
they
have?
were pathetic. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Cowboys were pathetic.
Yeah, Tex is a Cowboys fan.
And it's not surprising. It's. I mean, for 30 years basically now. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah, how did it feel watching that?
They lose and they play horrible.
How did it feel like you as a Cowboys fan watching that butt kicking down there a couple weeks ago?
Well, like I said, they're not that surprising.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
What do you think about the McCarthy decision to keep him?
When you're not surprised.
What do you think about the McCarthy decision to bring him back?
I never liked it when he went there in the first place. And I thought for sure Actually, I texted a friend of mine, and I said, I don't think he's going to be fired by halftime, that next game. And I thought he'd be fired by halftime.
Jerry's loyal to that guy, and he's going to get. It's going to be his last chance because if he doesn't win next year and go really far in the playoffs, I don't think he's going to be around. Thanks for the call, text calling from Florida. Nice a text to kind of own up to the fact that he picked the Cowboys. All right, Joe Barry. Everybody wants to know about Joe Barry, defensive coordinator, Green Bay Packers. He kind of cranked it up a notch at the end of the 2023 season. I thought the defense was fine for the most part on Saturday. They were great in the Dallas game for the most part until the end of the game when they got garbage stuff. Do we bring Joe Barry back? No?
And I agree with you. Since that Carolina game, the defense turned up the notch. Now, it was Minnesota, you didn't necessarily play.
How is that possible, actually? Because they played horribly in the Carolina game.
Because you know what happened after that Carolina game. What did Matt LaFleur say? I'm going to be more into the defensive meetings than I ever have before.
I wish he would have said that like in week 3.
Well, I agree. But if you're head coach, this is why I don't think he'll be back. And credit to Joe Barry. He was definitely not the problem on Saturday, although, you would like to have seen a stop there at the end. But, nonetheless, it's hard to stop offenses in the NFL, especially one of the best offenses. But I'll say this about, the defense. If your defensive coordinator, if the head coach has to intervene, then that probably tells you everything that you need to know. Since they gave up that comeback from Carolina, I know the Packers won that game. Carolina still hasn't scored. They won't score, Steve, until 2024.
Right.
Maybe 20. I mean, they'll score in 2024. But, so that kind of tells you everything. If the head coach, who's an offensive-minded person, has to leave that meeting room to go and, oversee what he's doing in the defensive meetings and what he's coaching and what he's instructing them, that's probably indicative on what, his future is going to look like. Now, I did think if they got to the NFC Championship game, and I still think they would have beat Detroit. I think they would have beat them by 2 scores. And the texter on here says, if I'm not rooting for Detroit, who am I rooting for? Nobody. I hope they all lose. But I think they would have. I think he would have maybe retained him. But I don't think Joe Barry's going to be back. And here's the other thing that I don't think he's going to be back. His contract expires.
Yes.
So it's not like they have to fire him and then pay him.
Yeah.
They can just do the mutual agreement. You go your way.
How quickly do you think that's going to happen?
Matt LaFleur's meeting with the media in an hour from now at 10:30.
You think he would already announced
Lambeau time? No, it'll take because they have to do the exit meetings with every single player.
Do you have to do that with every player and every coach? Like
they do. It's a respect thing.
And why does it have to all be done the first day? Why don't you spread it out over a week?
Yeah. Well, off-season plans probably trying to get out. You know what I mean? Probably
we're paying these guys a lot of money. They can stick around for a few days.
No, I agree. So they'll probably have their meetings. I would anticipate, Steve, if I had to guess, by Thursday you'll probably know the direction. And Matt LaFleur's not the type of guy that's going to come out. Now, last year he did come out in his press conference and said Joe Barry's not going anywhere, and kind of everybody was like, "Really?"
That's this afternoon.
That's an hour from now.
All right, so we'll monitor it. Would you please monitor that for us so that you can let us know if
I'll give you a live call in if anything.
All right, we'll look for
drastically changes while I'm at home.
So we're not going to continue Monday Morning Quarterback on the show per se, but you and I are going to do a version of it on the podcast side of things next season. So I'm looking forward to that.
This is therapy for me.
It is. It's good. I'm glad you worked it out. Be extra nice to your wife this week.
I'll talk to her today.
Yeah, make sure to make up for that.
Yesterday was the sad phase. Today's more of the angry phase, and then hopefully Tuesday I'm over it.
It's amazing that I'm like the balanced one. I was at a party and I was a little upset, but I didn't demonstrate it in that way.
I wasn't angry, but I was sad.
Sad, yeah.
Because this was such a fun team, Steve. There were no expectations. And here's the other thing about it. This is also kind of refreshing. We're going to end on a positive note. You don't have to worry about your future of the quarterback. He's going to play in Green Bay next year.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about retirement. You don't have to worry about wanting to go somewhere else. That drama, this should be the first normal offseason we have since when? 2019?
Yeah, that's
because the year they drafted Love, it was a mess.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a nice way to end it.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to relax this, as Aaron Rodgers said.
RELAX.
Yeah, all right. Pleasure doing this with you all.
It's been a joy.
And like I said, we'll have a different version of it next year, but always enjoy talking Packers with the one, the only Brandon Stein, big-time sports guy. You can hear his work right now on the Wisconsin Morning News show. All right, we'll take a break here. After the break, Little Ron. What did Trump call him? Ron DeSanctimonious? He's gone. He's out of the race. Some thoughts about what this all means in the race for president. We'll get to that and more on WTMJ Now.
It's WTMJ Now.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no staging, no real estate agent fees, no added stress.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
The NBA app is everyone's app. Every fan of every team.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone who follows LeBron, Tatum, and Embiid in the app. Every warrior who's ready to go to battle over three-point percentages. Every streetwear king who's here for the tunnel fits. Every young buck, nugget, and grizzly who wants to take a peek behind the scenes of the league. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth. Download the NBA app today. Available in the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Upsingers.
Backing you up.
So I order food on EasyCater for a meeting with a new client in Jackson.
Gotta feed clients in Jackson.
On my way to the airport, it hits me. The client is actually in Jacksonville.
Feed clients in Jacksonville. Oopsie.
So I call EasyCater. Nina picks up right away.
Nina fix it for you.
She called me right back and said you're all set.
Nina fixed the Jackson accident.
Jackson? EasyCater has your back with 24/7 support. Order at EasyCater.com and know.
We got your back.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
WTMJ Now.
We'll bring some politics to you in a second here, but I wanted to give Rome a chance. He's calling from Midtown, talking about the Packers. So we'll entertain a little light Packers conversation as we transition here. Hey, Rome.
In a second, but I wanted to give Rome a chance to call from Midtown.
Rome, turn your radio down. Rome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks for taking my call. First of all, I want to thank you for those Mine Shaft tickets. I finally got a chance to use those yesterday with my lovely wife.
Awesome.
We had a good meal there for brunch.
Love it.
I called in reference to this whole thing with the Packers. I told you I grew up in Pennsylvania as probably the only Packer fan during the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I see where everyone's talking about getting rid of Joe Barry. And I'm like, well, for who? Who are we going to get that's better than Joe Barry at this point?
That's
I think a lot of times we waste a lot of time wishing for something better when we might have the answer already. And we just need to let, things fall where they may. Get our guys back healthy, get a couple guys in the draft, and I think we'll be okay.
All right, some positive thanks for the call, Rome. Some positive love for Joe Barry there. Look, obviously, this is disappointing. You heard big-time sports guy Brandon Snide say he was first angry. No, was it sad then? Yeah, sad then angry. Look, we'll all get over it. This is a surprise season, and I think if they're honest, nobody expected us to play in 2 playoff games, to beat the number 2 seed, to almost beat the number 1 seed, both games on the road. So my show poll question today, before I shift to some of the presidential race news, is the Green Bay Packers getting knocked out of the playoffs Saturday. Where will all your attention and time and energy go now? And I gave you a few choices just off the top of my head. Cheering for the Lions, because they're going to the NFC Championship game in San Francisco against the 49ers next weekend. So that's one. Head first into politics, which is what we're going to talk about next. Only 6.5% of you, which I'm not surprised by, trust me. And this is one that I'm going to be kind of diving headfirst into, is the my winter to-do list. And my wife Kathy and I are already well on our way, and we've actually done a lot of small projects already. And now it's going to be some donating of things we don't use anymore, some Goodwill stuff, maybe some of the other places that accept the furniture, kind of like reorganizing, cleaning, a little bit of renovation. We just did I'm going to tell you about in a second, a little bit later in the show, the great new floor that Adair Floors and More in Franklin put in for us last week. It's stunning. And I'm going to talk about that in one of my live reads a little bit later. So let's make the shift, because I want to get to some of this presidential politics stuff. And if you didn't catch the news, it happened essentially yesterday. But there were some inklings on Saturday that Ron DeSantis, the governor of the state of Florida, was going to drop out of the race for the nomination for the Republicans for president. $150 million invested into essentially Iowa. Finishing second, Nikki Haley was a close third, and of course Donald Trump dominated, historic win in Iowa. And there were many signs, because he really wasn't a serious contender in New Hampshire, and there's for a lot of reasons why that might be the case, and I'll get to some of them. Essentially ending his campaign yesterday, and so I'm going to give you a little audio of what some of this sounded like, but I've got an interesting DeSantis piece, but this is maybe the benefactor, or the beneficiary, I should say, of the DeSantis dropout. Maybe. This is Nikki Haley when she finds out.
He ran a great race. He's been a good governor, and we wish him well. Having said that, it's now one fella and one lady left. So there were 14 people in this race. There were a lot of fellas. All the fellas are out, except for this one. And this comes down to, what do you want? Do you want more of the same, or do you want something new?
And I've said over and over again, it is time for the Republicans to sort of look at this as I understand the Trump power, and that it's unmistakable, it's remarkable, and it shows no signs of going away. So that's a reality. But for Republicans, supporting a woman for this position of president is sort of a bold take for Republicans. It's one that's been necessary for a long time. And I think as we debate the near future in this race, she's the only alternative to Trump right now. Oh, and by the way, in most of the polling, which presidents like to, and former presidents like to cite when it works for them and ignore or belittle when they don't, she's the only one that has a consistent polling result that says she can beat the current president, Joe Biden. So that's the reality for Nikki Haley. Now, immediately upon dropping out of this race, Ron DeSantis endorsed Donald Trump, which is somewhat shocking to me because not more than, a couple days earlier, Ron DeSantis said this about Donald Trump.
You can be the most worthless Republican in America, but if you kiss the ring, he'll say you're wonderful. You can be the strongest, most dynamic, successful Republican and conservative in America, but if you don't kiss that ring, then he'll try to trash you. You know what? You deserve a nominee that's going to put you first, not himself first.
Ron DeSantis, before he made the statement that he wanted to drop out. Now, interesting little tidbit about his, I think he did a 4-minute Twitter sort of dropping out speech. And in the speech, he thought he was quoting Winston Churchill, but in reality, he was quoting an old Budweiser commercial, which is somewhat ironic because he's a guy that didn't have a lot of love for Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch in the, I'd say the last year or so. So somewhat ironic, and again, it shows you the stupidity of politics that somebody didn't vet that quotes. And the Winston Churchill organization, there's a more fancy name, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. They immediately said, this is not Winston Churchill. He never said this. So it's kind of an interesting look at politics. So my question for all of you is this. In New Hampshire, it looks like Haley has a shot. Not a good one. Donald Trump today, with just Nikki Haley in the way, seems like the presumptive nominee. Ran in 2016, beats Hillary Clinton. Ran in 2020, lost to Joe Biden. Probably looks like it's going to be a redo 2.0 of Biden-Trump in 2024. As a voter, did the Ron DeSantis dropping out change anything for you? I played that clip for a reason, because it demonstrates pretty clearly there's really no values anymore. There's no insult that goes too far. Not more than a week ago, Donald Trump was calling Ron DeSantis essentially a pedophile. And I can go back historically. Donald Trump basically said Ted Cruz, his dad, was like a killer. And now Ted Cruz is one of the most enthusiastic endorsers of Donald Trump there is. It speaks to something that it's really hard to understand, for me, from my perspective, who like to see good people run for office and do good things. But we, of course, now we're in this era and this generation of hate the other side, they're evil, we're awesome, we're going to just make things up, we're going to deny we said things. In the case of Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, and many others, you can almost do anything to us. I played for the clip for it the other day, where Ted Cruz is defending his wife, basically calling out Donald Trump for saying mean things about his wife. Doesn't matter. He still endorsed him. Will the Nikki Haley news change anything? We'll take a break here. What do you think? 855-616-1620.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik, and I'm excited to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. The NBA season is here. There is no easier way to get in on the action than with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. And yes, it is legal in Wisconsin. Pick between 2 to 5 players, select higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. There's even golf and baseball. Here's how you get started. Download their very easy-to-use mobile app. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code WTMJ. Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100. I love it. It's easy to use, it's fast, and so much fun to play. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WTMJ. Sign up now. Start playing and start winning. Must be 18 years of age or older to play and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Heiser Automotive. I love Heiser. You know that because I've driven their vehicles for the last 4 or 5 years. And right now, driving a beautiful 2023 Ford Explorer XLT. It's one of my favorite models that they sell. This one is a 4-wheel drive. It's got a great Atlas blue metallic color, perfect for Wisconsin weather. It's got all the technology, all the bells and whistles that you expect from Ford and Heiser. 10-speed automatic transmission. There's so much more. Great gas mileage, but all the great features that Heiser has as well. Safe and sound program on all their new and used vehicles. Vehicle exchange. If you don't love it, exchange it. That's huge for customers, and especially with the ability to purchase everything online now. Roadside assistance for life. Heiser protects you for the life of your vehicle and through all seasons and so much more. Visit Heiser.com for the details. And they have a fantastic inventory. That's why they say every day. That's why I say it when people ask me about Heiser. Today's your day.
Siding Unlimited named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Ring in the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love in 2024, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one to remember forever. Diamonds Direct is the area's destination for exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and our nationwide price guarantee ensures you'll get the best value, period. To showcase that spectacular diamond, we have literally thousands of designer settings from all the top names like Tacori, Verragio, Simon G, A. Jaffe, and many more. And our experts will guide you every step of the way with the education you want and the respect you deserve. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, fashion rings. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in the ultimate symbol of love, and we welcome the opportunity to celebrate with you. So start the new year with some new excitement, new hope, and some new bling. Diamonds Direct on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Proud to call Milwaukee home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
WTMJ Now.
Will the Ron DeSantis announcement Sunday dropping out of the race for president change anything? Will Nikki Haley pull up a shocking victory in New Hampshire? I don't think so, but might be close. Mike from Illinois joins us. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I am wonderful on this Monday. So what do you think?
Yes. Well, first of all, I was very glad to hear the news. I think it makes it a lot less murky and more clear. There's only 2 choices now. And hopefully Haley can get some of the DeSantis votes. Obviously, endorsing Trump, I was disappointed by that. But, when you were asking about that, I thought about something I heard a long time ago, that in politics, there's no permanent enemies or permanent friends. There's only permanent interests.
I think that's
Ron
right.
DeSantis does not want to alienate Trump voters. He might even be vying for a cabinet spot or, depending on how long he stays as governor. Who knows? But I don't think he wants to make Trump an enemy of his. So either way, I'm hoping that Haley does good in New Hampshire and then crushes them in South Carolina.
All right, thanks for the call, Mike. Look, I think Mike nails it there. It becomes at some points self-preservation, right? If Ron DeSantis says, can't stand Trump, he belittled me, says all the things he said, prior to his announcement, he's going to have a tougher road as a governor who, by the way, is going to be out of office because they have term limits in Florida. And, all this conversation about him running in 2028, he won't be an incumbent. He'll be out of work, essentially. Now, he can run for something else, and maybe he's going to run for Senate. I have no idea. But he will be out of office in 2028. That's a game changer when it comes to, viability for candidates, recognition. He might be the guy that just basically said, you know what? I don't care what he says about me or my family or whatever. I'm still a Trump guy. I have a lot of texts on this, but I want to get Sam from Milwaukee in the mix as well. Hey, Sam.
Hey, thanks for the call. For taking my call.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just going to just feed off of what you guys just said. Yeah, he's afraid of his career. He's afraid of what backlash will come of it if he doesn't side with him. And I told the person that screened the call, that's why you have to love a guy like Paul Ryan. He didn't like the way things were going. He stepped away because he's not gonna take mudslinging and then do a 180 and say, well, I back him. And that's exactly what DeSantis is doing. All these Republicans are doing that. They just want to save their career because they're afraid of this guy. And that's the main reason. That's what I think.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Sam. I'm not sure. I mean, I've talked about Donald Trump for 7 years now. I'm not sure what the reason is people fear him. It's to me silly. And he's a big guy. He's like 6'4", I think, 6'3", 6'4". He's an intimidating, force. For some reason, some Republicans have said, this is our standard bearer. This is the guy that's going to do this. But I think for a lot of us, we said, what's the alternative? And one by one, he's beaten down his opponents, which I know that some people in the Republican Party, they try to emulate that behavior. And some are good at it, some aren't. And it's really ugly and weird when people do it on social media. But set that aside. There is an option for Republican voters. This is the last option, really. Because a lot of people who look at politics for a living, talkers, strategists, are not happy that Donald Trump's going to be the nominee. Voters so far have said, and definitely pollsters have said, that Donald Trump is the guy. But it is amazing to me that with a very light turnout in Iowa, and we haven't even had New Hampshire yet, people are saying this race is over. As if we're going to go through this entire year having a general election debate when there's a string of primaries across this country that are essentially going to be made meaningless. That defeats the purpose. That defeats the idea that there's a real opportunity for voters in every state to weigh in. And I still think, like a lot of other people, that at some point there's something, still a great unknown, that will blow up Donald Trump's candidacy. And you could look at the legal troubles. You can look at a lot of different things. Let's get Don in from the West Side. Hey, Don.
Hi, Steve. I don't think it makes any difference with DeSantis dropping out. Everything is already said. Trump's going to be the MAGA party candidate because Republicans have abdicated to him. None of them had the guts, I could say something else, to stand up to him, and they still don't. And I think Trump's going to be president because even if he loses, he's going to declare election was stolen. He's going to organize his MAGA thugs again and probably attempt another coup. In my opinion, he's the greatest danger to this country from anything after the Civil War. And it's just not looking good.
Thanks for the call, Don. Look, we're going to move on in the 10 o'clock hour, but this is an interesting time for this country. And I can't dispute what Don just said. If he did January 6th last time, what would he do next time if the results don't go his way? That's a huge question underlying everything that's important in this country. We'll take a break for news. Then the 10 o'clock hour. Lots ahead. Have fun. Let's go.
More of WTMJ now after this. New season, new coach.
There's art to looking good out there on the floor.
Same old Giannis.
Euro stepping through everybody and then slashes his way all the way in for an easy layup. Easy for Giannis, not for the mere mortal.
Catch every slam, every jam.
And that is stealing candy from the baby as he flushes it through with a two-hand jam.
And every swish.
And he cans another.
All season long on your home of the Milwaukee Bucks. 620 WTMJ.
It's time to make the call. It's time to get that lasting relief you deserve from that awful joint pain in 2024. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for QC Kinetics. Hey, don't go another year compromising because of that awful pain in your knees or your shoulder. Give a call to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative, non-surgical pain relief. Now, the best part is your body has what it needs to restore and repair that damaged joint tissue. That means no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. QC Kinetics can make it happen. Hundreds of board-certified QC Kinetics providers have treated tens of thousands of satisfied patients all over America. People with back pain, with hip pain, any pain associated with arthritis or an injury. And it's not a Band-Aid fix. This is revolutionary. It's treatment that can get you moving again and get your life back. Take the first step now. Give a call to QC Kinetics. A free consultation awaits. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Sun, 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 fun, 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 sun, sun, sun.
Boaters, this is your show, the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Over 300 boats, family runabouts, ski and surf boats, luxury pontoons, more Lake Michigan boats than ever. Tierra, Beneteau, Pursuit, Cruisers, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, and more. We have the boats. See Twiggy the water skiing squirrel the second weekend. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com January 19th through 28th. Closed Monday and Tuesday.
Earn now, spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days. Now through the end of January, Rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store to redeem just like cash, February 8th through the 21st. Start earning today with 40-pound bags of Easy Heat wood fuel pellets, $4.99. Rewards members pay just $4.79. Plus, get up to 70% off assorted holiday decor, candles, and other clearance items. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days.
This is a story about how Walker Media Agency even makes rivets exciting. Vince Vitrano here. When you work with Matt Walker and his team, they get your company website working for you. Prairie Rivet in South Central Wisconsin, their website didn't even list all of the rivets they so proudly produce online. Walker Media Agency built a site for them that tells their story, highlights company leaders, and if you need rivets, a full description of what Prairie makes and how to order them. Have Walker Media Agency build your company a site that works as hard as you do. Find them at WalkerWTMJ.com.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station. Detroit seems to have a real losing problem. The Bucks will make sure that trend continues.
Back to Giannis, sidesteps a couple of defenders and then thumps it down with a jam in the middle of all that defense.
The Bucks are still in Detroit with coverage starting tonight at 5:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
Skies 29 degrees, a chance of snow, freezing drizzle today with a high 34. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Vice President Kamala Harris visits the Badger State today to begin a tour campaigning for reproductive rights.
The VP's visit will begin with her arrival to Milwaukee Mitchell International around 10:30 this morning. After a brief press pool, Harris will head to the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades District 7 facility in Big Bend. Harris's visit is expected to conclude around 3:30 this afternoon as she heads back to D.C. Travelers should be advised freeway closures can be expected during Harris's commute to and from Milwaukee Mitchell. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A public hearing today in Madison will consider a 14-week abortion ban in Wisconsin. The Assembly Committee on Aging, Health, and Long-Term Care will go over the proposal this afternoon, which, if passed, would alter the already existing 20-week abortion ban in Wisconsin. A spokesperson for Governor Tony Evers says he has no intention of signing any proposal that reaches his desk. Over 40 million people under winter weather alerts in the central U.S. People from Dallas to Michigan may see freezing rain and accumulating ice through the end of the day. This comes as unseasonably warm temperatures will be seen in the eastern U.S. Southeast Wisconsin's next winter weather event arrives late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore says the storm will bring with it multiple types of precipitation.
3-4 in the morning. This band already starting to pull off to the north, getting a wintry mix to some of our southern counties. It continues to pick up and fill in through the morning rush and into the midday hours. We're looking at everything: rain, sleet, freezing rain, snow, all possible.
A glazing of ice also possible. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up in less than 10 minutes. GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley hoping to gain momentum at the ballot box after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped out of the race for president. The former South Carolina governor held a rally Sunday at a New Hampshire high school auditorium with television host Judge Judy Scheindlin. While Haley is still polling far behind former President Trump, DeSantis' announcement Sunday seemed to energize the campaign just before the Tuesday primary in the Granite State. Meanwhile, the judge in former President Trump's defamation case has adjourned the trial for the day over concerns a juror and an attorney may have been separately exposed to COVID. The delay puts off Trump's expected testimony in the trial to determine the penalty for his defamation against writer E. Jean Carroll. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
A juror on his way to court informed the judge that he wasn't feeling well, and so the judge told that juror to go home and take a COVID test. Simultaneous to that, defense attorney Alina Habba said one or both of her parents had COVID. She was exposed to them at a dinner 3 days ago. So the judge called off the trial for the day, instructed everybody to go home and take COVID tests and report back.
An earlier trial determined Trump sexually assaulted Carroll and his statements denying it were defamatory. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 140 points. The Nasdaq is up 33. The S&P 500 up 8. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button now. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:04.
This report's sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
You're going to hear a lot of campaign promises this year. They're all going to vow to make your life better, easier, and more prosperous. But there's only one name that can keep that promise: Mr. Holland's Home Services. And we believe you are the perfect candidate to fill an opening on Mr. Holland's Comfort Cabinet, the highest honor bestowed upon HVAC technicians, plumbers, and electricians. We're creating jobs, improving your personal economy, and creating a climate of change for the better. If you're dependable, punctual, polite, and eager to learn, you're in the running, mate. Cross the aisle and join the honest, hardworking, family-friendly team at Mr. Holland's Home Services. Forget the pandering political pledges. All newly elected representatives of Mr. Holland's Home Services are entitled to sign-on bonuses and a bevy of beneficial benefits. So if you're ready to bring the heating and air, plumbing and electrical power to the people, declare your candidacy for a new career. Apply today at MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Mr. Holland approves this message.
Whether you're an active or passively active home shopper, our agents want you to be completely up to date with what's out there and what's brand new to the market. With our instant emailed MLS updates, you'll never miss out on what could be the home of your dreams. All you have to do is call and tell us where to search, give us a price range, and soon you'll be totally in tune with your desired real estate market. Remember, MLS searches show you everything. Some of the other real estate sites don't. So call Benefit Realty today, where you'll pay less for full service. Benefit-Realty.com. 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission. You can't find a lower rate of commission, and you won't be able to find better knowledge, service, and real estate expertise than you'll find with our agents at Benefit Realty. Because I know that's what you expect. Now, I'm not sure you'll be able to find the highest caliber of agents everywhere, but I can promise that's what you'll get here. So choose Benefit Realty to exceed your expectations, and you'll pay less for more. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
After a thrilling season, the 2023 ride for the Green Bay Packers is officially over following a 24-21 loss in Santa Clara to the San Francisco 49ers. A special team, a special season all over.
One of the tough things about the National Football League is that group will never be together again as a team.
The 49ers, with the win over Green Bay, will now host the Detroit Lions, who beat Tampa Bay on Sunday for the NFC Championship game next Sunday. On the other side, the AFC Championship game is all set after beating Buffalo by a final score of 27-24 on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will travel out to Baltimore to face off with the Ravens next Sunday. And lastly, the 29-13 Milwaukee Bucks back in action tonight in Detroit to take on the Pistons. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. Coverage will begin right here on WTMJ at 5:30. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. I-94 east at Mitchell Boulevard. The right shoulder blocked due to a disabled vehicle. There was a disabled car. I-94 north about a mile and a half beyond the ramp from Port Washington. That has been cleared. The only other possible delay, I-43 southbound at the Construction Road, Brown Deer Road to downtown.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Chance of snow, freezing, drizzle today. Breezy with a high 34. That mix will continue into the overnight hours. A low 31. Wintry mix tomorrow. Maybe up to 2 inches of snow and ice possible with a high 36. Wednesday and Thursday, scattered rain. Wednesday 39. Thursday 41 for the high. And Friday, cloudy skies with a high of 39. Madison's at 25. Green Bay 24. Milwaukee 29 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Happy Monday, everybody. Not happy Victory Monday, as we all saw the Packers lose, or most of us saw the Packers lose to the 49ers on Saturday night. But hell of a season. We had a nice recap with big-time sports guy Brandon Snide in the first half hour of the program. We're going to shift gears completely. I got a bunch of different topics this hour because you got to get your mind off this stuff, right? And politics will slowly eat away at your brain. We know that. Editorial comment there. I saw this story, and I got to find out what my audience thinks about this. I have a definite opinion on it. I'm not going to share it right away. The headline is this. I saw this it made a lot of news on the Today Show. That's where I first... Because if you don't know, in the studio here, we have all the monitors from all the networks, and Today's Show is one of them. And I saw this story being discussed, saw it because I can't hear it. And it's basically fans suing Madonna, one of the most iconic singers of the last couple generations, right? Somebody who's been around for a long time. They're suing Madonna and the promoter Live Nation because her concerts routinely start 2+ hours late. What am I talking about? So, 2 New York residents, their names, if it matters, Michael Fellows and Jonathan Haddon, they brought this class action lawsuit against Madonna and Barclays Center, where the concert they were going to was going to happen. Filed a lawsuit in federal court, Brooklyn to be exact. And all because the December 13th Madonna Celebration Tour concert was supposed to begin at 8:30, but Madonna, the artist, didn't take the stage until after 10:45. Because of the late start, and I'm reading from the USA Today piece on this, the concert goers, the 2 gentlemen, were confronted with limited transportation, limited ride sharing, and or increased public and private transportation costs when the show let out at 1 a.m. So anybody who's been at concerts know this is a pretty egregious example, but typically they don't start on time. Now, I will give For example, I saw Bruce Springsteen, the most recent concert I attended, and Paul McCartney, for that matter, a couple of years before that, started right on time. So I think there's an expectation from most of us that, they may not start. I think the one example that I can cite, I got free tickets to go see Lady Gaga once at Summerfest. I would never bought tickets, but it was free. I wanted to see what the show was like. She started like an hour and a half late and put on some opening acts that I had never heard of. They were mildly entertaining. Then she comes out and does like an hour 15 and she's done. So didn't necessarily extend the concert later, just showed up late. 855-616-1620, the old WTMJ talking text line. Should you be able to sue? Now, you can sue anybody for almost anything, right? With a couple exceptions. Should we, the consumer, we, the ticket buyers, we, the concert goers, be able to sue artists when they show up late? The two individuals involved in this lawsuit said because she didn't begin her concert at the advertised start time, this constituted a breach of contract between the artist and the consumer, false advertising, negligent misrepresentation, and unfair and deceptive trade practices. And like a lot of these cases, they're seeking unspecified damages. Now, one of the people that regularly attends Madonna concerts said Madonna typically always starts late, 10:45, 10:50, and that most of the Madonna fans, they know that they don't bother showing up earlier. So there's sort of an unwritten rule here. What do you think? 855-616-1620. I'll tell you what I think about it as a concert goer. And it might surprise you, actually, given you the stories that I talked about. Springsteen on time, McCartney on time. I think Billy Joel was on time when I saw him a couple times in the last 5 years. And it's got to be 5 years at least. Probably, no, it's more than that. 7 or 8 years when I saw Lady Gaga at Summerfest. Someone will correct me on that at the main stage there. She was about an hour and a half late. That's typically not what I'm used to. But Madonna being sued for being very late, 2 hours and 15 minutes late to a recent concert at the Barclays Center. What do you think? 855-616-1620. Love to hear from you. I'll give you my take after this.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hi, it's Brian Noonan from WTMJ Nights. I've got some big news. Starting now, you can download WTMJ Nights wherever you get your podcasts. That's right, you can enjoy our nighttime fun anytime you want. Find WTMJ Nights on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Local news, national stories, random silliness. You'll get a bit of everything on WTMJ Nights. So join me, Brian Noonan, weeknights from 6 to 9 here on WTMJ, the WTMJ mobile app, or wherever you get your podcasts. WTMJ Nights. Listen whenever and wherever you want.
According to the U.S. debt clock, our debt is over $32 trillion and climbing. The question is, how do we pay it off? One of the most likely answers is increasing taxes. Now think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes on some of that money now when rates are historically low, or later when rates are potentially higher? At Drake & Associates, we can help you create a plan so your retirement is tax efficient as possible. If you'd like to continue your education, we have our Retirement Ready Toolkit, which includes guides on retirement tax savings. To receive this complimentary toolkit, call or text TAX to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting TAX to 414-409-9982. When taxes go up, will you be ready? Call or text now.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik, and I'm excited to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. The NBA season is here. There is no easier way to get in on the action than with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. And yes, it is legal in Wisconsin. Pick between 2 to 5 players, select higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. There's even golf and baseball. Here's how you get started. Download their very easy-to-use mobile app. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code WTMJ. Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100. I love it. It's easy to use, it's fast, and so much fun to play. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WTMJ. Sign up now. Start playing and start winning. Must be 18 years of age or older to play and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
WTMJ Now.
Madonna being sued by two concert goers who said, you know what, 2 hours, 50 minutes late for an 8:30 start is not a good thing. They're going to sue Madonna, unspecified damages. But it does raise a bigger question. What's the obligation of the artist? I got some texts on it as well and some phone calls. I'll say this. First of all, I'm not going to sue. I think having seen probably 100 concerts in my lifetime going all the way back to when I was in college, I've had every experience, right? On time, a little bit late, very late. I think a couple even canceled, and I didn't even know it until I got there. So, I mean, there's all the experiences of being a concert goer. I'm generally not a fan of lawsuits in the first place. We are a country that loves to sue. There's people that actually make living just finding things they can sue people about. And I know some of these people, and they're not nice. They're not very nice human beings. So, I mean, that's the reality of the world we live in now. There's an opportunity for people to make money actually just suing people nonstop, all the time. Every different issue you could possibly think of. But in this one, I'm not a fan. You know, it's Madonna. You're going to, whatever time she starts, you should stick around. It's obviously one of the greatest performance artists of our generation, right? Going all the way back to the 80s. The tickets probably weren't cheap. I understand that the hassle with transportation, but that's not on Madonna to figure that out. A couple of quick texts, then we'll go to the phone lines. The few concerts I've been to usually have small print saying that the event could be canceled or delayed at your expense. So I don't know if this Madonna concert had the same clause. I think that fans should get a certain percentage of their ticket refunded if these types of things happen, and it should come out of the performance pocket and not the crew who puts on the show. That ain't going to happen. So if you go late, because she typically starts late, this time she starts on time and you miss the concert, can you sue? Interesting question. She's not necessarily known for starting on time. She needs to go, from the texter, she needs to go, don't support this washed-up star. From the 262, a friend saw the Ramones at a club in New York decades ago. They took the stage at 1:45 a.m., and played for about a half hour. Of course, our Ramones can play 12 songs in 30 minutes. Yeah, they're nonstop, quick, short songs worth seeing, but yeah, that's the reality. To the phone lines we go. Jeff from Fox Point. Hey, Jeff, good morning.
Hi, Steve. I think suing is misguided. If somebody did that at a show I went to see, what I would do is I would find out why that performer was so late, and if it was a bad reason, then I would just stop supporting that performer, and I would not attend any more shows from that performer.
What if the performer that's what they do? I'm trying to think of some comparisons, but it's been a long time since the 80s and 90s when I saw most of my concerts. It wasn't uncommon to see the headliner act start an hour or so late. That was, I think, in Alpine Valley in the 80s and 90s. Very common.
Well, I hear Prince used to do that, and I would probably be turned off, and because that does say something about that performer's attitude in the regard for his or her fans, and I don't really care who it is or what their philosophy is. I would probably be pretty turned off and not want to attend their shows anymore.
Would you go see him, like, knowing what you know now, would you buy tickets to see Madonna?
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. I wonder, thanks for the call, Jeff. I wonder how popular she still is. I mean, obviously she's got to be. I mean, Barclays Center is a big venue. Let's see. From the 414, someone's got to correct me, right? Springsteen tour average is 38 minutes late. I think they were 5 minutes or less at the Fiserv when I saw them in 2023. For the 920, don't they care about fans that have to work the next day? Another case of the rich don't care about regular people. Pretty sure they don't care about that. Pretty sure they can sleep till when they want to wake up. From the 262, I would understand maybe a half hour or so due to unforeseen circumstances, but 2 hours is ridiculous. Madonna or not, you should be respectful of people's times. Nothing irritates me more than when people are late. I respect your time, therefore you should respect mine. Now, I'm a person, my wife's the same way. We show up early for everything. We're never late, ever. I have friends who show up late for everything. It's kind of how you're wired, and that's even a bigger question. Is it rude if you show up late to a party that you're invited to, when it says 5, or like, especially a dinner party. One of my friends was telling me about a holiday party where they had dinner, set time, and one of the guests showed up like an hour late and was expecting everyone to wait for them. Well, first of all, it's not going to happen in my house, and 2, that's just rude. From the 262, if you're always late, change your start time. It's being, I can't say the word, for no reason other than selfishness. Steve, you don't stick around, you request a refund. I don't know how that would go. If you're at a concert, you've gotten into the concert, let's say it's 2 hours now and the headliner has not showed up. Can you go? Who are you going to ask? Live Nation, I think is the promoter in this one. I don't think that's going to work because ultimately she did perform and she played well into the morning, of the morning, right? 101 something. Here's the other thing. For a lot of our venues in Wisconsin, they can't, I think, legally perform past midnight. So that would not fly here. And somebody wiser than me could tell me if Madonna or someone that's known for being late is actually going to be scheduled anytime in the near future here in Wisconsin. Sorry, Steve, I disagree. A $150 ticket represents a purchase contract with certain performance expectations. If the performer cannot adhere, then simply changing the time to accurately reflect reality. Okay. I just don't know how's that going to work. What's allowable? In this case, it was 2:15, 2 hours and 15 minutes late. What if it's 45 minutes late, which is probably really common in the entertainment business? Are all those people going to sue? How about a baseball game that doesn't start on time for whatever reason? Can the fans of the baseball team or the organization sue them? From the 262, this is their job. Why can't they show up on time? It's rude to the fans. T Swift always starts on time. Doesn't surprise me. Suing is a bit over the top, but sends a message. When the 414, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. It's quoted. I've heard that before. Don't know who originally said that. Madonna's not thinking about the people that made her millions. She should just go away. She's not going to go away. Very popular. I'm guessing, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing tickets for a Madonna concert would be well in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know, if you're paying $350 or more for Springsteen or $500 for McCartney, she's probably in that realm, right? $200 to $500 or more, especially if you're close to the stage. 855-616. What do you think? Should you be able to sue if an artist says, I'm not going to show up for like 3 hours after the concert? Now, that would probably irritate me. And I may go home. Although when you spend $300 to $500, you're probably going to want to see a show. And unless they outright cancel at the last minute, which then I think there would be a serious lawsuit and challenges to the promoter, and you would get your money back, pretty sure. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way in on suing people. What do you think? 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line.
More of WTMJ now after this. Start planning for your retirement today so you enjoy retirement tomorrow. Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday mornings at 7, where Tony Drake and his Education First team discuss retirement trends, taxes, inflation, and Social Security benefits to help you achieve a more secure financial future.
Join us this week as we talk about the coming presidential election and what the political turmoil means for your retirement.
Retirement Ready with Tony Drake on WTMJ.
Here at Rich Lawns, we offer both comfort service and expert service.
Our comfort service comes with movie theater popcorn, hot gourmet coffee, upfront pricing, on-time scheduling, plus anything else we can do to keep you comfortable.
Put that on top of honest service from the most friendliest, hard-working people you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center, and well, we'd like to believe we're on the right track to meeting your expectations.
But when your check engine light, tire light, or any other light screams, "Service me," well, that means you're due for our other type of service.
Our expert service. Tires, brakes, belts, mufflers, transmissions, and even engine repair.
Come on into Richlands and put our expert service to the test.
And while you're relaxing, enjoy our comfort services too. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
due for service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
WTMJ Now.
Unmistakably Madonna. One of her early big early hits. Would you sue her, though, if she showed up 2 hours? It seems like this is another example of how we want to sue for everything. Everything that you don't like in the world, we're just going to sue people. Filling up our courts, all the important stuff gets delayed because we're so busy with all the nonsense. Yeah, can you be mad about it? Yeah, absolutely. Who wants to wait? You want to see this artist that you just paid, hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see show up sort of on time. And to be honest, I haven't followed Madonna ever, really. Wasn't a huge fan of her music. I understand its impact on our culture, especially that song we just played. But it's not, in my mind, worth the investment of time, energy, passion, and potentially dollars in suing her because she shows up 2 hours and 50 minutes late for a concert. Just not my thing. All right, I'm going to shift gears here because I want to. Very selfish reason. Am I selfish today? Maybe I'm owed this because of the Packers' defeat in San Francisco. I'm going to be extra selfish today. We'll see. All right, so I've warned about this for a long time. One of the byproducts of the pandemic was distrust of science and scientists. Unmistakable. And I saw this poll over the weekend, survey, I should say, at U.gov, looking at Americans and how they view things. So I was both encouraged and disappointed. So the question is simple. Looking at prominent scientists, right? Some names you'll recognize, some you may not know. The highest ranked favorable view of a scientist, it's not shocking, Albert Einstein, right? Brilliant man. Theory of relativity, quantum mechanics, basically understanding how physics and nature interact and work together. Don't have to look any further than E equals MC squared, which arises from the relativity argument, which is now called the world's most famous equation, by the way. Nobel Prize winner, generally considered to be one of the smartest people that ever lived, right? His favorability number hasn't declined much, 86%. Solid. Also up in the 70s, Isaac Newton, right? Thomas Edison, light bulb, electricity. I toured his home in the Fort Myers Beach area when I was down there a few years ago. Absolutely incredible. He was doing things both in his residence, which is across the street from his actual workshop, which is still there and still looks the same, which is fascinating. If you ever get a chance to get down there, go check it out. Simple tour, easy to walk around. Thomas Edison, 77, Isaac Newton, 79. Here's where it gets interesting. Stephen Hawking, right? UK scientist, died recently, suffered his whole life, but genius. Also looking at some of the same questions that Einstein was looking at. Charles Darwin. This is where it starts to get fascinating. 62% of those surveyed did not hold that was the favorable part. All the rest, not favorable. 19 didn't know him. Interesting. It is a question that I think is related to what Darwin is known for, right? The theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. And that has now creeped into politics and certainly faith. Just so you know where I'm coming from, all in on all of that. Charles Darwin, genius, ahead of his time, literally ahead of his time. And then some other names that popped up that have very what I think are low favorability numbers. Carl Sagan, the genius of the cosmos, right? Very popular in the last century, public television specials, seeing beyond our planets, even seeing beyond our solar system to the bigger question of how this all fits together. He's not even at 50%. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a newer version, if you want to put it that way, of Carl Sagan, looking at the cosmos again. He's at 44. Oppenheimer, the movie, came out recently, right? Depiction of individual who helped the development of the atomic weapons. 42% favorable. And a bunch of other physicists who barely make 20%. What's the point, Steve? The point is, we are not, as a culture, as a country, and probably as a planet, as comfortable as we used to be in supporting people who are generally thought of as thought leaders, geniuses, scientists, experts, subject matter experts. Who do I blame? What do I blame? Politics. It's what I blame for most things. It's made us dumber, in my opinion. It's made us question everything. Not that questioning is a bad idea per se, but when you abandon common sense, when you abandon logic, when you abandon science for some weird, drummed up internet version of whatever passes for intelligence nowadays, I think the end result is not as good as it used to be. My take. What do you think? 855-616-1620. Love the fact that people still celebrate Einstein. Wish it was more than just for his crazy hair. And the fact that he's on posters you still see on college campuses. But when you start looking at Carl Sagan, less than 50% favorable. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the modern version of Carl Sagan, less than 50% favorable. And a ton of other physicists, individuals who are looking at the world and the universe we live in. It does give me pause. What does it give you? It also gives me indigestion, which is the physical manifestation of all of that. 855-616-1620. What do you think after this?
More of WTMJ now after this.
Losing sleep lately? The job, the house, the headlines, or investments? How about the feeling your investment partner isn't a partner at all? They might be operating in someone's best interest, but that someone isn't you. It's time for Annex Wealth Management. It's easy. Head to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. We work in your best interest as a fiduciary. That commitment runs so deep, we put it in writing. Does your advisor do that? Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Start at annexwealth.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Universal Windows Direct. This is one of those OMG moments, right? If you're cold in your home, drafty windows, you don't have to suffer through any of that. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Why did I say OMG? Free in-home estimate if you call today. Every 2 windows you buy, 2 windows free. Plus, a free upgrade to triple pane glass. You want to keep the cold out? That's the best way to do it. And, oh, by the way, they'll double your energy tax credit. And if you told them Scaffidi told you to call, additional $250 off your project. They can't do any better than that. That's amazing. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to universalwindowsdirect.com, and you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The pain was so bad I could barely walk. And now after stem cell treatment, I run marathons.
Now, this is an exaggeration, but I do hear about unbelievable miracle outcomes. And I have to ask, do you really believe them? If they were true, these biological treatments wouldn't even have to be advertised. Truth is, stem cell effectiveness is nowhere near 100%. It's expensive, and it doesn't last. At Rejuvenex, our FDA-approved pharmacological treatments ease inflammation and reduce pain. They're precisely administered to where your pain lives, and they work. Will the pain reduction last forever? No. But in some cases, relief has lasted as long as 24 months, and in most cases, insurance has paid for the treatments entirely. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
It's WTMJ now.
All right, whenever you hear that music, especially on Mondays at 10:30-ish, you know what's coming next. Dave Spano, President and CEO of Annex Wealth Management, joining us. Hi, Dave.
Hello, Steve. I heard you're getting agito. Most people don't know what that means. Upset stomach.
Yes. Weren't you a little upset after Saturday night?
Well, from the loss, of course.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that they had such a great opportunity and let it squander, and folks, as we know, Aaron Rodgers went in 2011 and never went back. So you got to take those opportunities when they present themselves.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it was a surprise that we got to the playoffs for most of us.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I like to look at the positives, and I'm trying to do that today. Now, talking about positives, we've had a lot of good economic news to talk about recently. Is that going to continue, Dave Spano?
Well, it probably is. In an election year, you usually see better numbers. And, of course, the Federal Reserve will probably do something to lower interest rates to spur on the economy because they think that perhaps inflation is at least getting under control, not quite under control yet, but from where it was, 9% inflation rates down to around 3% or so is getting into their window. And so we're likely going to see interest rates start to come back down, and that is good for the consumer, it's good for businesses, and it's good for mortgage rates.
I was reading your Axiom newsletter when you sent it out, and one of the topics was cash on the sidelines. Explain.
Yeah, so when interest rates went up and people started to get paid for sitting on the sideline, that was a good thing. For so often, you'll remember that I said that when people go to the bank and they look up at the wall to get a rate, and it began with a decimal point, well, that wasn't very good. But now savers can get paid, and that was a really good thing. There were CD rates north of 5%. That is good. And so people put a lot of that money, took it out of perhaps stocks, or perhaps it was just sitting idle somewhere and put it to work. But that's really on the sideline. What do you do with that money when interest rates start to come back down? We can talk about a lot of ideas. And one of them, of course, and everyone's risk parameters are different, but do you lock in a rate at higher rates today? Do you look at things like bonds, because as interest rates go back down, bond prices go back up? Do you start to stage into the equities market and get dividends? By the way, thanks for bringing that up. We're going to do a cash on the sidelines, how to make it work. It's this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Dr. Brian Jacobson, our chief economist, and myself are going to do that. It's a webinar. If you're interested in going, just go to annexwealth.com and hit the events tab, and we'll be able to sign you up.
Yeah, you and I did a webinar not too long about some of the risks and opportunities in 2024. And hundreds of people show up. And the great thing is you can interact with Dave, and he gives you his wisdom, real life, real time. I love it.
Yeah, and you were great as well. In fact, you running the ship really made it go. And so thank you very much for doing that. And of course, we're going to do that. And I'm going to be kind of the running the ship here, and Dr. Brian Jacobson's going to be doing most of the presentation. But the two of us will be on. If you want to interact, it's really a good idea. And what do you do with some of that cash on the sideline is something a lot of people are asking about. From people who are very well off to people just getting started.
I was watching Jim Cramer's show, which name escapes me off the top of my head, on Friday afternoon.
Mad Money.
Yes.
Mad Money.
And he was talking about this week being an interesting week for earnings reports from some of the big companies. What do you know about that?
Yeah, well, of course. Earnings week, it would be earnings season starts, and every quarter, the publicly traded companies have got to put their report card out there. And there's two things that they do. They report on what they did looking backwards, and as important or more important in my mind is what do they think going forward. So a lot of big companies are going to start to report. You start generally with the banks, and then you move in, and then probably in another 2 or 3 weeks, you'll start to see a lot of tech companies come in, and we're going to expect a lot of good things. This last week we saw some big numbers out of a couple of companies. Taiwan Semiconductor had, blew the doors off. We saw a company called Super Microcomputers up 37% just on Friday. So there was some good earnings reports that come out, and then the market reacts to that because they have higher sales or higher anticipated sales and higher profits.
It never fails. Whenever we have you on, there's always a tax question. And this one has to do with that period between the end of the year, right, 2023 ended, and tax filing deadline in April. What are strategies that people should be employing right now to improve their tax outlook?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of things you think about tax planning, and that is, as we all know, that goes on throughout the year. People think about tax compliance. That's actually filing the tax return. So of course the guys with the gold badges don't throw you in jail, but
right.
That is something else. This is tax planning goes out, and there's different ways to think about it. Should it be tax deferred? Should it be tax free? I mean, these are the things that you need to think about, and there's lots of products that are out there. There's lots of ways to get that done. So throughout the year, that is part of the process. And I'm telling you, folks, it gets complicated. Just the tax planning alone is very complicated. So you need people on your staff like we do that are CPAs, that are lawyers in that space. And so we really go out and we start to talk about how that works with the entire wealth management program.
Yeah, and especially when you start approaching that retirement decision, how you strategize your current accumulation of assets and what you do with it after retirement, maybe your tax bracket changes. Those are all really, really important things that you have to consider. And often you don't do that when you're kind of a solo investor.
Yeah, and that's right. And you think about, the team members that you have, and it's hard to do that because there's so many moving parts. I always say, even for a financial advisor who's out there on their own, it's very difficult. I know for certain, even though I've been doing this coming up on 4 decades, that I don't have all the answers on, we have PhDs in the investment department, we have lawyers in our estate planning department, we have CPAs in our tax planning department, those, and of course, certified financial planners. No one is an expert in all of those things, and that's why it takes a team to bring it to the table. But this is an important week, not only for earnings, Steve. Of course, we'll find out a lot through the New Hampshire primary. And then once we understand what that is, this may be the longest run-up of a presidential election in our memory because we're going to know right away. It looks like Trump and Biden. If that's the case, stocks are going to react to either one of those. For example, when we saw Obama look like he was going to win, we saw a movement in healthcare stocks. When it looks like Trump was winning back in 2016, there was movement in, for example, banking stocks. And now we're going to start to see, should there be green stocks if it looks like Biden can hold on? Those are all the decisions that happen, and companies and investors move their money to where they think it's going to be a long-term play. So no question, you got to go through all of this stuff, understand what's in your portfolio, why is it in your portfolio, and how much you're paying for it.
Dave Spano joining us on WTMJ. Anything else on your radar for the next couple weeks ahead?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, the elections are probably going to suck a lot of the air out of the room, but there's a lot of, the biggest news coming out is going to be the earnings reports coming up, and then what the Federal Reserve does in March. Those are going to be the two shaping stories that we're going to get. Elections, and of course, there's always the black swan idea that we hope doesn't happen, and that could be something like a geopolitical event. Hopefully that starts to calm down, but these are all the things that are on our radar that our entire team looks at on a daily basis.
You talked about this last year, actually saw the future on where the markets were going, and we have record highs in the Dow and the I think the S&P is also record high. Are they all three of the big ones?
Yeah, when you look at the S&P 500, we are back where we were almost 2 years ago. And, those big numbers, those round numbers, they have kind of a magnet effect. So you look at where the Dow Jones is at 37,000. Can it get to 40,000? You look at the S&P 500 where it is. Can it get to 5,000? Those big numbers have kind of a magnet effect because at the end of the day, it's not just computers doing the trading, it's individuals. So look for that big number. I don't know. We certainly don't know when that's going to be, but it does have a draw effect towards those big round numbers, and I think we might see both of those in 2024.
All the more reason to have someone help you wade through all of those numbers. Dave Spano, Annex Wealth Management, AnnexWealth.com, and simple as doing what I did, click the Get Started button. Always great to talk to you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Have a great week.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. We're gonna shift gears again after this break. It's an all-important break to hear from our great partners here at WTMJ. And then 11 o'clock hour. What do we do on Mondays at 11 o'clock? I'm trying to think. I don't even know. Well, we'll get to it, right? I'm going to freelance it a little bit today, I think. I feel like freelancing it a little bit. I'm going to do it. As long as this is... I'm having an internal conversation, me and Charlie, through the glass. He's just looking at me like I'm crazy. I may be crazy. That's what a Packers loss does to me. I wasn't Brandon, ignore everybody. I was actually at a party, so I had to participate in conversation. But it still got to me. We'll sort it all out after this.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
I'm Clean Living Environment's Kelly Lammert. Utilizing both agitation
and high-powered suction, Clean Living Environments gets more allergens, pollutions, particulates, more everything out of your ducts. With Clean Living Environments clean ducts, you get a more healthful home than with suction alone. Cleaner ducts mean a better life. Once your ducts are Clean Living Environments clean, we'll seal them, then you'll get more money in your checking account every month going forward out of your ducts. Get more out of your ducts. CleanLivingEnvironments.com. That's CleanLivingEnvironments.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why, through the end of February, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 13 years, Adam has provided more than 2.4 million meals to people in southeastern Wisconsin. And now, the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
It's David Nason, your personal inspection pro from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show. I'm with my go-to basement repair guy, Chris Mancuso of Accurate Basement Repair. This is the team I personally recommend for leaky or cracked basements.
Wow, thanks, David. Our team at Accurate Basement Repair has been fixing leaky and cracked basements for the Fix-It listeners for over 20 years.
That's great, Chris. For more information about how to schedule a free inspection and estimate, check out AccurateBasementRepair.com because they're not just good, they're accurate.
If you did not have your holiday company party in December, have it in January at the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford in their free party rooms. The food is super affordable, and the huge game room adds so much fun. Reserve your date today. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days. Heck, a lot of big banks issue pre-approval letters using soft credit pulls instead of real credit reports. Do you really want to compete in today's still low inventory market with a soft credit pull and a pre-approval that's silent on 2 of the 3 critical elements of a mortgage approval? A rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet not only verifies your credit with a real credit report, we also verify your income and down payment, and then issue a letter with a $2,000 guarantee to back it up. And now, AccuNet is issuing property-specific pre-approvals that often come with this sweet phrase: no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval at or above the seller's asking price without needing an appraisal. Today's home market is still a metaphorical knife fight. Your bank is offering you, well, a pocket knife. AccuNet is Crocodile Dundee. Now that's a knife, mate. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
WTMJ Now.
You may be right.
Of course I'm right. That's why I'm hosting this show. Thank you for that affirmation. And Billy Joel, tapping into what I said earlier. I've seen him twice in the last 5 years. He never disappoints, by the way. And he does show up on time. He respects his audience. All right, little cleanup on the science question. I knew I was going to get to this because this is what it's always about. And I'm going to make some points that are going to make you mad, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to read the text and I'll respond to it. Politics plays a role, but so does religion. My book says the world works one way, and it's very upsetting that you're hundreds of years of repeatable experiments, and research says it works a different way. In my world, faith and science complement each other. Why do I say that? Because the friction and the conflict, we've seen that play out, whether it's the Catholic Church in the medieval age, when someone disagreed, they were killed, whether it's the modern era we live in, where in some cases, some extremist people of different faiths use their faith as an example to kill other people. It's the ugliness of faith, right? It's the dark side. You don't get to celebrate all the good stuff and then forget that there's a dark element to this as well. So when you talk about science from the perspective of we all become smarter, we become enriched, we learn about things that we never would have known before through people that are not only scientists but great communicators, faith plays a role in that. And as I said at the beginning of this, it can complement each other. And if we abdicate that relationship, if we forget about it and use it as a source of conflict, which is what happened with Darwin, the theory of evolution, some faith-based education, we've created a conflict where there doesn't have to be one. The best faith, my opinion, celebrates science, understands that there's a complexity to everything we do, and that's how we all become smarter. So the sort of the wrap-up of this is, if we're going to start blowing up scientists and science and research and all the things that we hold dear, we should hold dear, that explain our incredibly complex lives, I don't think that's a good next step. From Dr. Fauci to, pick somebody, Stephen Hawking, Carl Sagan, Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. All of these people did some amazing things. Were they perfect? Absolutely not. Not close. No human being is perfect. But often the work that imperfect human being does changes our understanding and can change our lives in a wonderful way. Look no further than Thomas Edison. I think we all love electricity. He got us there a little bit earlier. That's all I'm saying. So if you're a person of faith, as am I, don't just take the good things. Understand there's complexities to that faith that are, in some cases, not positive from a historical perspective to the age we live in now. That's a responsibility of all people of faith, different faiths. And frankly, the competition between faiths doesn't help either. Those are the controversial parts of what I was talking about. All right, after the break, I've done this story every year for like the last 7 years. I argue no one cares. The price of a stamp going up again. I could care less. I haven't bought a stamp in 5 years. I could care less. And frankly, knowing this reality that every year it goes up, why wouldn't you just buy those forever stamps, buy a whole book of them, capture that great price point that's the old price, and then use those for the next 10 years? I don't understand it. I'm not a shopper. Explain it to me. I could care less after this.
More of WTMJ now after this. Start planning for your retirement today so you enjoy retirement tomorrow. Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday mornings at 7, where Tony Drake and his Education First team discuss retirement trends, taxes, inflation, and Social Security benefits to help you achieve a more secure financial future.
Join us this week as we talk about the coming presidential election and what the political turmoil means for your retirement.
Retirement Ready with Tony Drake on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik, and I'm excited to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. The NBA season is here. There is no easier way to get in on the action than with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. And yes, it is legal in Wisconsin. Pick between 2 to 5 players, select higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. There's even golf and baseball. Here's how you get started. Download their very easy-to-use mobile app. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code WTMJ. Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100. I love it. It's easy to use, it's fast, and so much fun to play. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WTMJ. Sign up now. Start playing and start winning. Must be 18 years of age or older to play and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
New year, new ride. Griffin brings you the ultimate New Year special. $179.95 for a complete car pampering, oil change, tire inspection and rotation, air filter and wiper blade replacement, multi-point inspection, battery check, and heat inspection. Drive into the new year with confidence, only at one of Griffin's 5 service departments. See Griffin for details and restrictions.
Hey, Gene Miller here. The heart of winter is the best time to call my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating and cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from brands like Pella, Anderson, Marvin, and more. Hometown is your local source for wood, vinyl, or fiberglass, plus all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Stop into their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. WTMJ Now.
If you're a regular listener, you know we often have a giveaway. Sometimes in the 10 o'clock hour, sometimes we move it around a little bit. Today's is a good one. I just saw Bill Maher in Las Vegas, end of last year. Well, he's coming to town. Riverside Theater, Milwaukee, July 13th, host of HBO's Real Time. He'll give you everything you expect on politics. Quick story, as I tease this giveaway here. We were sitting in a packed theater at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and he does a lot of politics, obviously. And he starts by blowing up fans of Donald Trump, and then some fans were booing him, and then they stormed out. 5 minutes later, he's blowing up the other side of the political aisle. They would have just stuck around. They would have had things to cheer about. But it shows the impatience of the political debate. But if you want to see all of that, and he gets a lot of grief, he's one of the most talented comedians and I think commentators on politics that we have today. So he's going to be all of his hot takes, Milwaukee, July 13th at the Riverside Theater. And you have a chance to win 2 tickets every day this week. Bill Maher. Those aren't cheap tickets either. So thanks to the folks at Riverside. This is a big one. Bill Maher. I'm going to with caller number 6 today, 855-616-1620. Caller number 6, a pair of tickets to see Bill Maher live at the Riverside Theater July 3rd. We're actually going to try to get him on the show in advance of that concert because I've seen him a couple times now. Big fan. Like his commentary. He spares no one. Doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. Save the text. He spares no one. Liberals, conservatives, Republicans, Democrats, whatever. He goes after everybody. And as much as he used to be called left wing, he's sort of evened it out over the years. He's an equal opportunity offender, which I appreciate. And in some ways, model my show after. So, Bill Maher, call number 6. Look at those phone lines light up. We'll do it 4 more times this week. Today, caller number 6 will be the lucky winner of a pair of tickets. All right, quickly, we may dip in the 11 o'clock hour and talk about this if you're interested. I could care less that starting yesterday, the price of stamps went from 66 to 68 cents. If you would have asked me yesterday before I saw this story how much the stamps cost, I would have said 55 cents. No idea. Haven't bought a stamp in 5 years. I just had this discussion last night at a family gathering. In my world, once a week mail. Why are you still getting things mailed to you? It's silly. It's mostly junk mail, which in our house immediately goes into the garbage. So not only the postage you paid, the printing costs, all of that you wasted because I'm not even going to read it. And this is what passes for mail. Now, save the text. If you have a health reason why you need to get mail, by all means, identify those people, let them get their mail every day if they need it. The rest of us, give me all my mail on Friday or Saturday. I'm good. Bundle it up. I'll go through it quickly and pitch most of it. But in the day and age we live in, why in the world are you still getting paper bills? Why in the world are you still mailing things out? My goodness. Use technology, people. Could care less. If you have a thought, 855-616-1620. I might bring that back in the 11 o'clock hour. I say might because I'm very selfish today. Like I said that earlier. News is next.
It's WTMJ Now.
Brewers win!
Get more from your live baseball experience with the 2024 Brewers Ticket Plan. On sale now. Don't miss more exclusive Brewers season seat holder rewards, like your very own batting practice session, more can't-miss action, and more access to the game you love. It's your ticket to being a VIP Brewers fan this season. Plus, you'll enjoy savings on ticket prices you can't get anywhere else. Learn more at brewers.com/ticket plans.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Transform your bathroom like we did. It's Sidex, S-I-D-E-X, Sidex. Take out that conventional bathtub, put in a walk-in shower. That's what we did at our house. It's beautiful. It's open. It's transformed our bathroom. And right now with Sidex, you get $750 off any bathtub or shower replacement. They serve within 60 miles of Milwaukee. It's Sidex. They did the work at our house. It was quick. It was affordable, it was efficient, and our bathroom is beautiful. Go with the company we trust, Sidex. Free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ or John Mercure.
Detroit seems to have a real losing problem. The Bucs will make sure that trend continues.
Back to Giannis, sidesteps a couple of defenders, and then thumps it down with a jam in the middle of all that defense.
The Bucs are still in Detroit. With coverage starting tonight at 5:30, we are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it's cloudy and 30 degrees. Snow and drizzle possible today. Breezy with a high of 34. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A school bus and an SUV have crashed into each other near 44th and Congress. TMJ4 reporting that crash happened this morning. Both vehicles seem to have minor damage. No word of any injuries. A woman was found dead after slipping and falling at a bus stop near Appleton Avenue and Congress Street. TMJ4 reports on a security video from a nearby business. 49-year-old Jolene Woldruff slipped on ice, then hit her face on a gate. Happened January 15th. She was found unresponsive and face down at a snowbank. First responders tried to save her life using CPR, epinephrine injections, and more, but she was pronounced dead at 6 p.m. that day. No official cause of death has been named, but the medical examiner's report shows she had bruising to her face and neck. Vice President Kamala Harris visiting the Badger State today to begin a tour campaigning for her reproductive rights. Scheduled to arrive at Milwaukee Mitchell around 10:30. Then after a brief press pool, the VP heading to the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades District 7 facility in Big Bend. Harris's visit expected to conclude around 3:30 this afternoon as she heads back to the nation's capital. Travelers should be advised freeway closures can be expected during Harris's commute to and from Milwaukee Mitchell. Vice President Harris isn't the only high-ranking Biden administration official to visit southeast Wisconsin this week.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will be in Milwaukee on Friday, touting President Biden's support of unions while also touring the Wisconsin Regional Training Partnership on the city's west side. Yellen will also host a roundtable with those leading the organization, as well as Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. The visit, along with Vice President Harris's stop in the state, marking the heightened interest in Wisconsin by the Democratic Party heading into the 2024 election. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
New poll shows former President Donald Trump holding a wide lead over former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in New Hampshire. The Monmouth University Washington Post poll has Trump at 52%, Haley at 34%, up from 18% in November. Haley today on the campaign trail responding to Trump's claims about her policy proposals.
He says, I want to cut Social Security and raise the retirement age. I never once said that. Not once. If anything, we're going to make it solvent so that no one lives in fear.
New Hampshire primary, of course, is tomorrow. Milwaukee's chances of hosting an NBA All-Star game may depend on the 2024 Republican National Convention. Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Mark Cass, tells WTMJ, although Milwaukee wasn't selected to host in 2026, the NBA may be waiting to see how Milwaukee handles hosting the RNC.
As I talked about in Cleveland, they got All-Star, both MLB and NBA, after hosting the RNC. So the hope is still there. I think the Bucks want it. Hopefully Adam Silver stays true to his word and it comes here in a few years because it'd be a great thing for the city.
2027 would be the next time Milwaukee would be able to host an All-Star game. Federal Trade Commission banning a company from selling or licensing people's precise geolocation data for the first time ever. FTC settled with Texas-based data aggregator In-Market Media after they gathered troves of consumer location data from mobile apps without disclosing that it would be used for targeted advertising. Americans continue to take a dim view of many professions.
Americans' ratings of nearly all 23 professions measured in Gallup's annual Honesty and Ethics poll continue to fall. Only one profession, labor union leaders, has not declined since 2019. Nurses remain the most trusted profession, with nearly 80% of those polled giving them high marks for honesty and ethical standards. Members of Congress, car salespeople, and advertising professionals are viewed as the least ethical. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 141 points. NASDAQ is up 71. The S&P 500 is up 15. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
This report is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
The pain was so bad I could barely walk. And now after stem cell treatment, I run marathons.
Now this is an exaggeration, but I do hear about unbelievable miracle outcomes. And I have to ask, do you really believe them? If they were true, these biological treatments wouldn't even have to be advertised. Truth is, stem cell effectiveness is nowhere near 100%. It's expensive, and it doesn't last. At Rejuvenix, our FDA-approved pharmacological treatments ease inflammation and reduce pain. They're precisely administered to where your pain lives, and they work. Will the pain reduction last forever? No. But in some cases, relief has lasted as long as 24 months, and in most cases, insurance has paid for the treatments entirely. This is Richard Salinas. Registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
You're going to get a free furnace from Quality Heating. This isn't a gimmick. You are going to get a free furnace. This is Anthony Zanevsky, and all you have to do is purchase a heat pump from Quality Heating, and you're going to get a free furnace. And this heat pump is not only going to give you 2 sources of heat and act as a backup, but also the heat pump will double as an AC system to cool your home as well. And it's extremely efficient. I have a heat pump in my own home, and I can promise you, this heat pump will cut your energy costs substantially. You'll be getting a top-of-the-line $14,000 to $15,000 system, but your bill is going to be less than half of that. So from February 1st through March 31st, you can get an insane deal from Quality Heating. This is the only time of the year we can do this, and it's really just in an effort to make one of the slowest times of the year for our technicians really busy. So see the man in the red van. Call Quality Heating. Get your free furnace and upgrade your home's HVAC system to absolute max efficiency. February 1st through March 31st.
Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
After a thrilling season, the 2023 ride for the Green Bay Packers is officially over following a 24-21 loss in Santa Clara to the San Francisco 49ers. A special team, a special season all over.
One of the tough things about the National Football League is that group will never be together again as a team.
The 49ers, with the win over Green Bay, will now host the Detroit Lions, who beat Tampa Bay on Sunday for the NFC Championship game next Sunday. On the other side, the AFC Championship game is all set after beating Buffalo by a final score of 27-24 on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will travel out to Baltimore to face off with the Ravens next Sunday. And lastly, the 29-13 Milwaukee Bucks back in action tonight in Detroit to take on the Pistons. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. Coverage will begin right here on WTMJ at 5:30. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. A couple of slow spots on the freeways. I-94 northbound from Ryan to Layton, normally about a 6-minute drive. It's going to take you closer to 10 minutes. And, of course, the construction zone, I-43 southbound Brown Deer Road to downtown. That's about a 15-minute drive this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, maybe snow or freezing drizzle today with a high of 34. And that mix will continue into the overnight hours. Overnight low 31. Wintry mix tomorrow with maybe up to 2 inches of snow and a glaze of ice and a high of 36. Scattered rain Wednesday and Thursday. Upper 30s on Wednesday, 41 for the high on Thursday. And then Friday, cloudy skies with a high of 39. Madison's at 26, Green Bay 26 as well. Milwaukee 29 degrees. I'm Connie Weber, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Happy Monday, everybody. Not Victory Monday. We know that. We lost. Green Bay Packers lost Saturday night to San Francisco. Game we should have won. Darn field goal kickers. Save the text. I understand there's a lot more to it than that. All right, so I did a little bit at the end of the 10 o'clock hour. And thanks for listening, by the way. All those you take the time to find the show. Appreciate you. And then Joe in Atlanta pointed out, I always do this. I always make this mistake. It's I couldn't care less, not I could care less. I always say could instead of couldn't. I always mix that up. So thanks to Joe for pointing that out. I'll try to be better, Joe. Anyway, we're talking about postage and stamp price increases going from 66 to 68 cents. I could care less. Now, texters disagree for a lot of different reasons. One is a business reason. Like if your industry depends on, I'm paraphrasing, if your industry depends on mailing things, obviously the cost goes up and your business cost goes up. You got to pass on the consumers. I get all that. Sort of the reality of doing business, right? And I would argue that mainly the consumers are paying for it, not you, but we can have that conversation a different day. I said the idea that, I don't understand in a state and a country full of coupon clippers, always looking for deals, why people don't buy more Forever stamps. It holds the price. If you buy a pack of them, you could somebody says they bought a pack 8 years ago, they're still using them. And this is funny because I think this is the only thing that we mail anymore. Those Menard rebates, you got to mail them in. Still have to physically mail them in with your copy of or the bottom of your receipt. That's something that's still hanging on, right? And great idea by Menards. They've captured that market. All right, so from the text line, the WTMJ Talking text line, agree about paper mail, but daily package delivery is essential. I separate the two. I get packages, people get medications, all that stuff. Amazon, UPS, FedEx depend on the Postal Service to make final deliveries to rural areas. I get it. I'm not a basher of the Postal Service. There's a lot of great men and women who work for the Postal Service. I'm trying to make their life easier. I'm not advocating for less people working there. I'm saying let's refine, let's use technology, let's be smarter. For someone like me, and probably a lot of you, I don't get a lot of meaningful mail. I'm good with once a week. We should be able to check that box. Once a week. Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday. All my mail, mostly junk, bundled up, stuck in my mailbox, and then I can process it in about 2 minutes. Again, it's a waste of technology. It's a waste of gas. It's a waste of time, and certainly a waste of printing and paper to keep sending this stuff out that most of us aren't reading. Yet we continue to support this system. Now, I have a lot of intelligent conversation that disagrees, so I want to read it. Please don't encourage people not to use mail service. Hundreds of thousands of people depend on the United States Postal Service for a paycheck. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're talking about government payments, aren't those all direct deposit now? Are people still getting physical checks? I don't think so. I can remember when I took over as mayor in Oak Creek, we had one employee that was still demanding, surprise, surprise, an elected official, a paper check. We said, no, not doing this. Not one check for one person. And that stopped immediately. Steve from the 262. Believe it or not, some court systems still don't accept electronic signatures on documents. Arizona, for instance, we have to mail paper copies for signatures. Again, not advocating for no mail. Smart mail. Let's see. Another person chastising me for saying I could care less when it's I couldn't care less. I'm going to learn that lesson eventually, probably when I'm done with radio. From the 414, an important point. When you give me internet free for seniors, I'll pay online. Okay. See, I'm somebody that has said for a long time, basic internet should be available for everybody. All the technology we have, why are we still doing this stuff where we're paying for our own internet? It's nuts. I go to Starbucks, internet's free. I go to a bank, generally internet's free. I go to any location anymore, internet's free. You got to buy a phone or a device, but come on. This is from Stephen Northlake. I realize I'm probably in the minority regarding caring about the postal increase, but it's my reality and will affect my livelihood. I hear you. I'm not advocating for no mail. Let's see. Menards is the only thing I use stands for also. Yeah, it's a common thing. Those little instant rebates from your purchases. Ralph wants to clarify from Glendale. Thanks for calling, Ralph. Good morning.
Hi, Steve. How you doing? Long-time listener. Often I call.
Appreciate it.
Recently, about 2 years ago, my son was murdered, and the suspect was caught and convicted, and he is currently paying me a settlement through his work.
Wow.
In the prison. But I just wanted to let you know that the state of Wisconsin is still sending me a paper check for that monthly amount that he's paying me for.
Let me add, and sorry to hear about your son. That's obviously tragic news. So was it an option that you get paper checks, or is that just what they do?
I did not get a call or a letter that said that there was an option. There might be an option. I did not research it. I just went with what they're sending me.
All right. Thanks for the call, Ralph. And again, sorry to hear about your son. That's horrible. I guess I'm just surprised that most checks, I would think, have to be electronic now. Direct deposits. I mean, I guess the IRS, are they still mailing out paper checks for rebates or refunds rather? That seems nuts to me. again, I'm not advocating for, people are like really on the, why do you hate, I don't hate the post office. I love my local mail carrier. He's always there for me. Always loves to chat, listens to the show. Love it. Let's see, from the 414, that person was talking about the paychecks, meaning the people working for the United States Postal Service, not the Postal Service delivering paychecks. All right. Text about a paycheck was referring to employees who work at the U.S. Post Office. If there's less mail to deliver, I don't agree with that. There are ways to expand your business beyond just the regular old mail. I've said for a long time, there's opportunities within the package side of things, and I know they've done a lot of this, to compete with the Amazons and others. So if you have more time and employees and energy to compete in that side of the business, which is really important given all the packages we get now, why wouldn't you just use that opportunity to streamline your business in one area and go forward in the next? Simple things. Being open and embracing change versus just being status quo. This is always the way it's always worked, which is like the most frustrating thing ever. Nothing is free. We all pay for it. Absolutely. Let's see. Postage. I still mail birthday cards, Valentine's Day cards, Christmas cards. I'm still old-fashioned and get bills mailed to me and mail out checks. Don't trust online bill paying, but that's just me. Maybe it'll change someday. I have done what bills I have online for years. I've never had an issue. And people always ask me about this. And we're gonna take a break, and we got people want to chat on the phone as well. If you're smart about how you conduct yourself online, you generally don't have problems. If you get lazy, if you don't change your passwords, if you have an easy password, and a lot of other reasons related to technology, you're going to be scammed. We all got to be smarter. I'm going to take a break. We're talking about the postage increase, but really a lot more than that. Again, not advocating for the destruction of the Postal Service. Big fan. I just want them to be embracing technology, moving forward, doing things differently, so that we don't have to sweat out every year a 2-cent increase for the price of a first-class stamp. Make sense? 855-616-1620. More after this.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Wake up with me. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 8:15 for Matzik's Morning Minute during Wisconsin's Morning News. Everything you need to know about all your favorite Wisconsin teams in just 60 seconds.
It's a true test to all of us, but I do believe in the guys in that locker room in terms of the character that we have.
Every Monday and Friday at 8:15 during Wisconsin's Morning News.
Lopez squeezes up a three, rattles another one through. Oh, it's contagious.
Sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac.
Ring in the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love in 2024, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one to remember forever. Diamonds Direct is the area's destination for exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and our nationwide price guarantee ensures you'll get the best value, period. To showcase that spectacular diamond, we have literally thousands of designer settings from all the top names like Tacori, Verragio, Simon G, A. Jaffe, and many more. And our experts will guide you every step of the way with the education you want and the respect you deserve. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, fashion rings. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in the ultimate symbol of love, and we welcome the opportunity to celebrate with you. So start the new year with some new excitement, new hope, and some new bling. Diamonds Direct on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Proud to call Milwaukee home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hey, Gene Miller for Forest Ridge Senior Residences, a caring community known for its small-town friendliness while offering luxury living in a big way. Nestled in the village of Hales Corners, Forest Ridge delivers first-class amenities, accommodating active lifestyles with entertainment and transportation. Enter through the fully renovated community center with exquisite dining to see our brand-new 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, where your rent is frozen until 2026. Come tour Forest Ridge Senior Residences today. Call 414-485-9507.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
WTMJ Now.
Oh, I've struck a nerve. Not a post office hater. Don't put me in that camp. I love the post office. Just think they can do things differently and change the way we interact with them. That's what I'm saying. All right. Phone call. We got lots of texts. The text line 262 says, my pension check is still a paper check in the mail. That's crazy. Direct deposit, please. And a lot of people saying they don't trust internet banking. I've done it for years. It works fantastically. I use Educators Credit Union. Their online platform is amazing. Streamlined, safe, easy to use, always up to date. And that's an unsolicited ad for educators. That's just my bank. And a lot of the other ones, your bank, probably just as good. Phone lines, Mike from Ozaukee County. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Say, years ago when your station carried the Clark Howard show,
yes, yeah.
He offered a suggestion of getting your mail every other day, which you would get it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you'd get it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And wouldn't that cut delivery
delivery time? Yeah, be more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, in half. Not to take away jobs, but they could concentrate on today's routes and then concentrate on tomorrow's routes.
Yeah, that's why Clark Howard was so good. Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah. We all have to get out of this mindset. I've struggled with this in some areas and some not so much. That because we always did it that way, that's the way we have to do it. That's the dumbest answer you could give somebody. It shows that you're inflexible, unwilling to ever change just because you like it. Even when it may cost more, be less efficient, slow things down, create a lot of redundancies. That's the problem with all of that. Like private sector's done years ago, efficiency matters. It needs to matter on the public side. Why do I say that, Steve? Have you seen our exploding national deficits? One of the reasons that number keeps going up, what is it, 34 trillion now? Is because we are not efficient in what we do as a government. We have to have, all of us, the same expectations we have for the private sector. Customer's always right, right? Well, that works for the public sector stuff too. If the government's doing things that are inefficient, we should fix those. Now, the qualifier is this. We keep putting people in who are more interested in politics than actually doing work. That's a bigger problem, and that's why we're not efficient. So once we fix that first problem, maybe we can address the second. Little speech there, but an important one. Mark from Sheboygan. Hey, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. I don't have a problem, like your last caller said, every other day for mail delivery. That would be great. But my problem with a lot of the electronic transactions, anything you do, is if you have a problem, there's nobody competent to contact to help you through this problem. And I won't go into the long story, but I just had a situation where I talked to 4 or 5 different people trying to get a problem solved, and I got 4 or 5 different answers. Some contradicted the other one. So electronics is great. I use it quite often, but my biggest fear, is, like I just said, is you can't get a hold of competent people to help you through the problem.
Let me ask you this, Mark, because I've also been frustrated. I had a war against internet service providers for like 2 years on this show. And finally, I just said I had enough, and I just went to YouTube TV and never looked back, and much cheaper and better for that matter. So is this a customer service problem or a technology problem? I would argue that what you're talking about is customer service. We can fix that if companies are willing to do it.
I agree it's customer service.
Yeah.
But they should be trained. They're working for the technology company, so they should be trained to help with the technology.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, certainly. If we're going to do this, and to be honest, we're going to do this. If there's somebody getting a paper check, that's not going to exist. I'm surprised it still does exist, but that's not going to exist much longer. If you're still paying bills, I don't even have a checkbook anymore. I can't write checks. I don't need to. I never write checks. I find other ways to do it, whether that's one of the electronic fashion, Venmo, PayPal, if I have to, or I just do a transaction through my bank. That's the reality that we're all going to be facing. I understand there. Somebody said that I don't even have a bank account. How is that even possible? How do you not have a bank account? I guess I don't get how that works. Richard from Illinois. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Steve. Well, you're a lot more technical savvy than I am because I'm a dinosaur and I'm going to write checks for all my bills until the day I die.
That's okay. It's what you do.
And I don't trust credit card companies' utilities for auto pay and crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not tech savvy to pay online. But as far as the stamp prices go up, I don't mind, because if they go up 2 cents every year, every other year, that's how the people get their raises. When your next contract's up, you want to make more money than you did this last one. They want to make more money next year too. And contrary to what most people believe, the post office doesn't run on tax dollars. It's self-sufficient. So the price of stamps is what covers that.
Yeah, it's sort of a standalone.
I have no problem with it.
I don't disagree with you, because everyone loves to make as much money as possible, but unfortunately, not everyone. A lot of people don't like when other people make more money, and that they think that costs them. That's the reality of the people in this country.
And a downside for the employees of the Postal Service, if the thing of delivery every other day, even though Clark Howard is a very smart man, that would take money out of their pockets because they would not be working as many hours as they are.
Yeah, I disagree on that, because I want them to be utilized in package delivery, which is a growing part of the USPS. I think there can be other things they do. I just don't. Thanks for the call, Richard. I don't want them to spend all their time delivering junk mail to me. Now, somebody also said, and I got a break coming here. Somebody also said, well, what are they're supposed to store your mail? It should be an option for me. Once a week, mail it, come to my house. I don't need it every day. Now, maybe my wife disagrees. I have never asked her about this. I don't need to go to the mailbox every day, because 99 times out of 100, there's nothing in that mailbox that I need. All right, we're going to take a break. Ken's on the line from Rubicon. We'll get him in. Lots of texts on this. So often those little things, those little conversations that get people fired up. I love the passion on this Monday. I need that. Hopefully you do too. Quick break.
More of WTMJ now after this. Once the final whistle blows, Bucks Talk with Justin Garcia is on the air. Recap every Bucks game, win or lose with Bucks Talk.
To borrow from Mike McCarthy, I am just looking for this team to stack successes. Find one thing that works, keep doing it, and build on it that way.
It's Bucks Talk with Justin Garcia.
Oh, God. You said Mike McCarthy. Oh, Justin. My God. That's horrible.
Only here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I've told the stories many times. I used to suffer at night, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep, bothering my poor wife, Kathy, and she had to wake up early when she's a teacher. Now she's retired. I did something about it. I went to Advent. Their facilities are amazing. Their docs are also very, very smart and amazing people. And in a 30-minute visit, they walked me through all of it. Now, everybody's different. Everyone has different problems, different solutions. But for me, my problem, the root cause, sinuses, nasal passages in my breathing triangle. Very common problem, by the way. After a short procedure done in office, I'm breathing better than ever. My wife and I sleeping through the whole night. It is so nice to wake up refreshed. Trust me on that. And I've done it for years now. And I was a customer before I was a spokesperson for Advent. That's how important it was to me. If you struggle like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. The Energy Star ratings for windows are getting a lot tougher to get the tax credit, so you're going to want to take advantage of. Fortunately, we still have options that will qualify you for those tax credits. Now, I can sit here and talk benefits of this product or what's great about that product. So can everybody else. But what a lot of operations can't do is, with complete confidence, stand behind the crew that's going to be on that next job. Talk is cheap, I get it, but our people are exceptional. How do I know? Because me and Vito handpick every single person that makes our team. Some make the cut, a lot don't. And that's why you can be confident that the windows we install for you will be top quality, installed right, and that you're going to get great service. And that's never failed us. So for your home's new windows, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
It's WTMJ Now.
Postage is up. some cases anger is up as well, but not in everybody. Some people are saying, hey, this is a thoughtful conversation. I appreciate that. Trust me. Again, not advocating. Somebody says, why do people, because people are arguing with me about this. I love the Postal Service. I love my mail carriers. They're awesome people. They engage with me. They're friendly. They're almost like clockwork in how they deliver the mail. And I'm a suburban location with a drive-up mailbox. They're the best. So there's no problem there. I'm not advocating for job reductions, workload changes. It's just going to be different work. And I see an opportunity with package delivery that even USPS sees. That's why they have weekend delivery, Sunday delivery now with packages sometimes with USPS. It's not a bad thing. Ken from Rubicon joins us on the phone line. Hey, Ken. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Yeah, I just have one thing to say.
Sure.
And that is I was doing internet banking for 10 years successfully on my iPad. But my bank went to this new system, and so the iPad is just, I'm out here in the county, so I don't get any fast service of any kind, whether it be iPad or computer. And so now I got to move away. I'm back in the old system of mailing things, because the internet banking service of my bank, when they went to a new system, crapped out because of the speed considerations. But
interesting.
Anyhow,
yeah, that is a problem with rural folks, that they don't have the internet speed to sometimes make this all work. That's why you can't get rid of Postal Service.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ken. I appreciate it. Look, I'm not cold-hearted. Again, there are people that say we should just get rid of most mail. I'm not that person, because I know that my wife, Kathy, loves sending out cards to all of our son-in-laws, our daughters, our grandkids, Christmas cards. We still do that. I would never discourage that. And let's be honest, stamps, the real kind, are part of the revenue that drives the success of USPS. I would never say that. Post office in Janesville with 65,000 population, only one full-time office, understaffed with often long lines, so many opt for FedEx and UPS. The amazing thing about that question and that problem is that there was a time when USPS jobs were in high demand. That is not the case anymore. And that brings into the conversation certainly workforce expectations, desire of some people to do a hard day's work. Kind of a different part of the problem, but those folks are hardworking, trust me. They also have to put up with all of us giving them nonsense every time we want to mail something somewhere. We don't have the package prepared properly, the address isn't right, blah, blah, blah. Some people want to argue, which I think is crazy. Texture says, thanks for sharing your experiences online banking this topic. Yeah, huge fan. I use educators, you use what you use. It works so well. What I love about it, I make a charge. Let's say I'm at the 3rd Street Market Hall having lunch. I had lunch here Friday. That charge shows up immediately on my bank accounts through all the electronic ways that happens. And Texter said I'm more into technology than they were. I'm not even remotely close to being up as far as like a Martin Moore who joins me on some Tuesdays. He's really up to date on technology. I just try to get out of the mindset that I have to do everything the same way I always did. I didn't like it when I was a mayor. I don't like it when I'm a private citizen. Let's see. The problem with paying your bills online, everything they want to have a direct date that you're going to have it taken out of your check. Most of us don't have the luxury of having a couple $1,000s in our account to have it taken out on a specific day. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck, which is sad. I understand that. My advice is when you get the funds, then you pay your bills. That's about the only way I could make sense out of that. Let's see. From the 262, note that Social Security has required direct deposit for decades now. That's what I thought. You're not receiving paper checks. I'm not sure that, and somebody who's gotten a rebate, I've paid taxes in April for, I don't know how many, at least 20 years. If you're getting a refund, is that coming back in a paper check? I don't think so. That would be shocking to me. But somebody who's actually getting a refund, maybe they can let me know. Mike from Crystal Lake. Hey, Mike from Crystal Lake. Good to hear from you. I do get a lot of junk mail every day. If deliveries were made every other day or once a week, I need a bigger mailbox. That's a real life problem. Didn't think about that. We actually upgraded our mailbox 2 years ago. So, yeah, we went from a smaller one to a little bit larger one. But you know what? It's not because of the mail that's important. It's the junk mail. To be honest, come election, we're all going to learn this lesson this year. It's election year, 2024. You are not going to believe how much of your mail is going to be junk mail. And I term any political mailer as junk. You may disagree. I think I'm in the majority. That's junk mail, paying a lot of money to have something that literally I'm going to take and throw away. As soon as I get into my garage, I'm going to hit the step thing on, or the thing on my mailbox is going to pop open. Not my mailbox, my garbage can, and I'm going to throw it in there. Barely gets a look in the driveway. That's the living, real-life definition of junk mail. I'd like to see less. And maybe, just maybe, the idea that we should be embracing is let's let the USPS be even more efficient by getting rid of everyday mail. Or at least giving people the option, maybe this exists now, I'll have to check my online USPS account. If I can say, look, I don't want mail once a week. And my wife would probably disagree with me on that. That's just a thought. All right, we'll take a break here. Lots more show to do in 20 minutes before Tracy Johnson takes over. We'll take a break here.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Replacement windows and doors. Where do you start? Siding Unlimited is the best installation contractor in Wisconsin and even in the whole USA. So start there. How do I dare claim that Siding Unlimited is the best? Well, Pella, America's best manufacturer of windows and doors, said it. Loud and clear, naming Siding Unlimited their Platinum Elite Contractor of the Year 3 years in a row. That's a big title. It's a big deal. It means best of the best. Our own Siding Unlimited. Local, family-owned, honest and reliable, knowledgeable and skilled. Siding Unlimited. So, where do you start? You want windows, but think siding. Siding Unlimited, Wisconsin's best. America's best. SidingUnlimited.com.
I couldn't even bend over. But now after stem cell treatment, I can deadlift a house.
Now this is an exaggeration, but I do hear about unbelievable miracle outcomes, and I have to ask, do you really believe them? If they were true, these biological treatments wouldn't even have to be advertised. Truth is, stem cell effectiveness is nowhere near 100%. It's expensive, and it doesn't last. At Rejuvenex, our FDA-approved pharmacological treatments ease inflammation and reduce pain. They're precisely administered to where your pain lives, and they work. Will the pain reduction last forever? No. But in some cases, relief has lasted as long as 24 months, and in most cases, insurance has paid for the treatments entirely. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
WTMJ now.
All right, I saw this story. Thanks for all the conversation on the USPS and the rise of the cost of a first-class stamp. 66 to 68, if you were missed the beginning of it. I saw this story and I go, this is a classic example of what I've been talking about. What am I talking about? I got this from Fox News. And the headline is basically tells the story. North Carolina school ditches bathroom mirrors to prevent students from recording TikTok videos during class. Are you serious? Is this not a perfect representation of the insanity that's happening in schools now? They're going to remove the bathroom mirrors. The school, if you're interested, is a North Carolina middle school. I think the name of it is Alamance Burlington School System. I'm not sure that, Southern Alamance Middle School in Graham, North Carolina. It was so bad that kids were missing significant amounts of class time to go to the bathroom and make TikTok videos. They said, on average, students use the restroom between 3 to 4 times a day, but that frequency has steadily increased to between 7, 8, and 9 times a day. Since removing the mirrors, One of their spokespersons said the school has not seen not as many visits to the bathroom, not staying as long, and students are held accountable. And when there's accountability, you see a great difference. Are you serious? How about this? I don't know, maybe restricting some of the bathroom visits to maybe back to the 3 and 4 versus 8 and 9. That would have been where I would have started. I don't know, maybe some supervision in or around the bathroom, hallway supervision, which used to be a thing, by the way. Now, when I relate my high school experience, I'm talking 70s. It's a while ago. But you didn't walk down that hallway and do anything that was out of line. Because there was a dude, generally dudes, who were probably in their 40s and 50s, that if you did anything out of line, they would correct that behavior instantaneously. And if you dared to do things in a bathroom, and if you didn't get away with it, which some kids did, trust me, you're going to pay a penalty, which usually meant a detention, which I guess doesn't even happen anymore. Apparently parents thought that went too far. When you start taking down bathroom mirrors because you can't control a TikTok problem, you've got bigger problems. Are you serious, North Carolina? Some more comments from the school. We're trying to educate students. Like, we all have cell phones now. We have to learn to use them. We have to learn when to put them down. The school has also implemented something called Smart Pass, a digital hall pass system which allows students to be tracked checking in and out of class. It's intended to enable staff to better track where students are at all times for safety and accountability reasons. We strive to limit distractions so students can focus on learning. This is an adjustment. We believe these changes will foster a better learning environment by minimizing disruptions. You took out the mirrors from the bathroom. It's like the most misguided. I get that it probably works, but you couldn't think of a better way? You couldn't find another solution? Little supervision, little move it along, Sonny? Just because you can't monitor the bathroom itself for a lot of obvious reasons, you can send a monitor in there every once in a while and say, would you please stop kissing the mirror and filming it on TikTok? That's not out of line, by the way. And for all those school districts who say, because I know it's going to happen next, because I get letters and emails about this. You're asking us to hire employees to supervise kids, and we don't have money for that. You certainly have money for field turf stadiums and extra softball fields and extra baseball fields and the latest, greatest when it comes to school infrastructure. You found a lot of money for that. And then on top of that, which is the frustrating thing, Vince Vitrano's been talking about this for about a month on his show, Wisconsin Morning News. You're all going to ask us for an operational referendum because you have no money now to pay the basic cost of education, which is the real thing that we actually are supposed to be paying our taxes for, not all the other stuff that you decided you absolutely had to have. Texter makes a great point. It's always about this. You don't need a phone in school. Simple as that. You don't need a phone in school. Who says you need a phone in school? Nobody that actually teaches kids says that. You especially don't need a phone in the bathroom. I can imagine a scenario. If you're filming TikTok videos in the bathrooms, let's just say this is a bigger than a North Carolina problem, which it probably is. You do realize that you are exposing young people, unintentionally or not, to being recorded in a bathroom because you don't monitor the bathrooms. Mirrors or not, they're still going to record videos in there. That makes no sense. Remove the phones, as the texter said. Remove the phones from the equation. A lot of your problems are solved. Who's going to be brave enough to do that, by the way? What school district, and I know there's some, because I've talked about them before. What school district is going to be brave enough to say, you know what, we're done with this experiment? No. As the texter says, cut down on the number of times you're going to the bathroom. You don't need to go to the bathroom every hour. And ban student cell phones. Is it tough love? Sure is. But when you eliminated supervision in the hallways, when you eliminated detentions or punishment, actual punishment, and decided to make everything about, race and gender, all of those things are important. They're not the only part of the equation. But you don't hear that anymore. It's about silliness like this. That's why I called it out. Remove the problem, not the bathroom mirrors. Quick break.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hey, it's Christmas in January at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the fun at the Mine Shaft. It's been the area's most affordable, family-friendly restaurant for over 46 years, and it's still decked out with thousands of holiday lights and Christmas characters. It will lift your spirits. Your kids are going to love it. Big breakfast start at just $7.99. And Mondays are Family Pizza Day. Enjoy a huge 18-inch pizza for just $14.99. Easily feeds a family of 4. Tuesday, check this out. The Mexican buffet is all you can eat under $10. Desserts are always buy one, get one free, and I love that. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal, maybe have an after-dinner drink. Experience the Wisconsin Mine Shaft. It's the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant and the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet under $10. No reservations needed, just walk on in. It's Christmas in January at the super affordable Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Adair Floors and Remodeling on South 27th Street in Franklin. I've been dying to talk about this story. So I had Rob from Adair come over to our house and showed him my 20-year-old Adair floor that still looks fantastic upstairs. But we had a project downstairs, down the basement steps, landing area, dingy old linoleum or a linoleum-type product, looked horrible, been there for 20-some years. Their design team answered our questions, helped with all of our flooring and remodeling questions, and delivered a gorgeous new floor, which I'm going to share a video with you in the next week or so. And I'll show you the before and after. It's absolutely transformational. So whether you're talking about your home or business, it's family owned and operated right in Franklin, right down South 27th Street. You can't miss it. Stop in and tell them Steve Scaffidi sent you. We've already sent customers over there. Or visit them online at adairfloors.com.
Sun, 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 fun, fun, fun. Sun, 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 every kind of boat under the sun.
That boat show music is back, and so is Wisconsin's largest boat show. Everything from family runabouts, ski and surf boats, fishing boats, luxury pontoons, and more Great Lakes cruisers and motor yachts. We have the boats. Shop for skis, boards, and tubes at the Tubers Truckload Sale. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com, January 19 through 28, State Fair Park.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Shop the January New Year's sale on better quality furniture and mattresses at Ken Michaels Furniture.
Chronic pain can be very bossy. What do I mean? It tells you what you can or can't do. Sometimes it even has the audacity to keep you from working.
I missed almost 3 weeks of work, and I was no longer able to play tennis. The pain was really debilitating sometimes. I missed Thanksgivings.
Abby was ready to put the bossy bad back in her past. And that's when she discovered QC Kinetics and their non-surgical treatments for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine with tens of thousands of satisfied patients, people who have experienced real lasting relief without drugs and without surgery.
It has just been the most life-changing, amazing experience. Not only life-changing, but career-saving. I get to continue to do the career that I love. I'm playing tennis again.
Stop letting that joint pain boss you around. Start with a free consultation at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's WTMJ Now.
Smoking in the boys' room. Smoking in the boys' room.
That used to be the whole thing, smoking. Now it's the recording, like 3-minute TikTok videos, which is insane to me anyway. I'm not on TikTok. My friend Kristen Bryce says, they're not 10 seconds anymore. They're like a minute long, and whatever. I don't see the need. And again, I'm not trying to be the buzzkill guy, but the kids are there to learn, not record TikTok videos. When did that become a key part of the day? And if someone's taking 9 bathroom breaks, come on. From the 262, can you imagine the uproar if a teacher tells a student they can't use the bathroom, though? When I was in school, the teacher would say, you should have went at break, now you can wait. That was a much tougher time. Let's be honest. Here's another one I could do a whole when I was a kid in school. I tried not to get cracked on the butt. I went to Catholic school, grade school. Look, I love those nuns, But they were not nice. Now, they were not nice because we were pains in the, in the butt that just got cracked. We were not nice. And we probably deserved a rap to the head with knuckles or, a slap with a yardstick or a whatever. But, discipline matters. My dad used to say, a little fear is a good thing. I agree with that. A little fear is a good thing. Fear punishment for bad behavior. We've eliminated that, and we end up with kids making TikTok videos in school. What's the point of this? So you can be a TikTok star? I get some people are influencers, are making money, all that. Chances are good, 99 out of 100, you're not going to be that person. You're not that imaginative. You should really focus on your education, which will actually get you a high school diploma and get you a job. Enough said. I just want to introduce that topic because I thought it was fascinating. When we get to removing the mirrors in a middle school because kids are making too many TikTok videos, we've somewhere missed it along the line. Let's not let that be the start of an age of insanity in trying to deal with problems that could be fixed with a little discipline. Make sense? Another quick break.
WTMJ Now.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold or mildew or broken tiles, I've seen all of this. Trust me, I see your bathrooms. You got to call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to elevate your bathroom to a new level of luxury, style, and safety. Schedule your in-home estimate. It's free, and you get $1,000 off a new shower or bath. Plus, get this. This is a big one. 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
The hit Wisconsin musical is back. Guys on Ice, the ice fishing musical, returns to Milwaukee Rep this winter. A day on the lake is easy when the jokes are funny, there's beer in the bucket, and the fish keep on biting. Join two best friends in their shanty up north as they spin wit, wisdom, and side-splitting songs about life, love, and the one that got away. Get ready for Guys on Ice, now celebrating 25 years of laughter, playing now through March 17th. Get tickets at MilwaukeeRep.com.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Ring in the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love in 2024, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one